Gather around, freaks. Steve and Jason have switched faces. Or have they? You won't know until it's too late. There will be dual wield guns, though. There will be also a big action chase with huge explosions and dubs and faces off and on. So rub your partner's face and gather around the internet face switcher because it's time to take your face off and put it back on. Hey, did you see this one?
Woo! It's John Woo!
John Woo-February. Nope, not February. John Woo-February. Hello and welcome to Hey, did you see this one? The weekly reaction review roundtable discussion where we just have to ask the question, hey, did you see this one on this show? What we do is we take a movie, we pull it apart, we take its face off, we examine all of its under face parts, and we put the face back on and leave no face unturned, I guess. It is episode 216. We are concluding John Woo Director Spotlight Month, Jan Woo, as we've been calling it. We're talking Face Off, finally. This is an extension of not only the John Woo month, but our Nick Cage month we did last year a little bit, because I posit this is more a Nick Cage movie than it is a John Travolta movie. But we'll get into all that and more. Thank you, everybody. My name is Jason /Phillips, apparently. And I'm joined, as always, by my illustrious co-host, the legendary, wearing two faces at once, Stephen Boba Blackfly Waters.
Hi, that's me.
Because he's wearing two faces at the same time.
It's hard when you only got two faces to work with.
That's right. And returning to the show for I think the third time, you're gonna get your playlist real soon if you keep up this action. It's the grandfather and the father and the grandpappy and the dad of the United Federation of Podcasts himself. He is the host of a Star Trek podcast, which is eluding my mind right now, but he'll tell you all about it.
Live Long and Podcast.
Live Long and Podcast. It's the flagship show of the network. I should probably know it. I'm going to pull it out of my brain like that. Dave Vader's back on the show.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Always a pleasure, my friends. Always a pleasure. Oh, look at that. That's my new face?
Yeah.
Half your face, half his.
You get a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one.
Well, I could do worse, so I'll take it.
Welcome back, Bella. Bella was hanging out with me in the pre-show this evening, and they're back. They're going to check out some facing off with the Face Off Boys is what the name of the show is now. As I said, it is episode 216, which is probably too many episodes, but I guess what we can do is do a little bit of a synopsis party.
What?
Zardoz speaks to you. He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
That's Zardoz, everybody.
What a great guy.
What a great guy. Steven, do you want to give us a brief synopsis of Face Off?
Certainly. So, Face Off. It's about a madman named Castor Troy, who is an assassin. He's a terrorist. I don't know. We don't really know.
Terrorist for hire.
I think he's a little bit of everything. He's just a crazy guy who causes chaos for money, and he loves doing it. That's the most important part, is that this guy loves his job. We get a brief moment in the beginning where he's attempting to assassinate Sean Archer, played by John Travolta, who is riding a carousel with his tiny child, and when he gets shot, the bullet goes through him and into his child's face or something. And then, we flash forward a million years, and Archer has become obsessed with hunting down Troy. Really, he's supposed to be stopping terrorism, but he's made it a personal vendetta to stop this particular man. And it's driven him like a little bit crazy, but it's also driven a wedge into his family. He's not connected with his wife. He's not connected with his daughter. But in the mission to take him down, they capture him at an airfield after he's armed a very dangerous bomb in some sort of the LA Convention Center, I think is where it is.
That's right. You got it.
And it's a chemical bomb that is going to take out all of the Western seaboard or some bullshit. I don't know. They talk briefly about how, like, if it goes off, the fallout will drift around all of North America and basically kill everybody. It's a really bad bomb. And in trying to capture him, they accidentally kill him, but really they just put him into a coma. And they realize that there's no way to stop the bomb unless they find his little brother, the bomb genius, whose name I cannot. And I kept trying to capture his name throughout the movie. And
Pollux.
Alex, there we go. It's a weird name.
Castor and Pollux from Greek mythology.
Okay,
Troy. That's why he's Castor Troy and Pollux Troy.
Okay. I didn't make that connection. This movie is way smarter than I am. So it comes down to them having to find the younger brother in order to stop the detonation of this lethal bomb. And the plan that they come up with is to get Nick Cage to remove his face and put it onto John Travolta's body so that he can go in and pretend that he's his brother in order to get the location of the bomb and defuse the bomb. But not all goes according to plan, because when he's in the prison pretending to be Nicolas Cage, the real Nicolas Cage wakes up and takes his face and then burns all the evidence that any kind of face swapping procedure happened and takes over his life and leaves him in jail forever. Of course, he escapes jail, and a bunch of back and forth hijinks happen where they're living in each other's lives, and you get to know a little bit about one person's life, a lot of bit about another person's life. And we realize that it's not as clear cut as we thought it was, though Nicolas Cage does still remain a madman throughout the entirety of the movie. Or not Nicolas Cage, but Castor Troy, I should say. And, it ends with a standoff, a face-off, if you will. And we'll talk about it when we get there. But
no hockey, though. We get no hockey.
No hockey. But lots of crazy action sequences and a lot of just insane storytelling that I'm like, most of the movie, I'm like, I can't even be like, what? Because if you start doing that, then the whole thing falls apart. You just have to be along for the ride.
This movie requires no logic. In fact, it calls upon you to suspend all disbelief and to just go, I'm just here for the ride, because none of it makes sense.
There's also things. Yeah, there's also things in this movie that don't need to be in there and seem like they're straight out of like another movie, but exist for no other reason than that, like, it's slightly cool. Like, they go to basically like Blackgate Prison from Arkham, from like Gotham City, and you're like, wait, why do they have magnet boots? Like, how far into the future is this?
This is a Batman movie that doesn't have Batman in it. To like, it's
Batman's
like
in
Joker.
Gotham. This is happening in LA.
It's almost like if Batman and the Joker switch faces. It's kind of like that kind of a movie.
And even his even the brother kind of like reminds me of like the Riddler a little bit. And it's like, what if Gotham didn't have Batman in it? Or I guess I didn't think of Travolta as the Batman, really. I thought of him as like maybe he's Harvey Dent.
He's not Batman.
Going on a side quest.
He's not even remotely like Batman.
But then there's that scene where there's like they pull the thing off when Eve, the wife of Sean Archer, he's got half a face. Half of his face is burnt off. So two faces in this movie. So this is anyway. We'll get into
double here, four faces.
Four faces.
We'll talk about it as we go. But yeah, it's sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Just this ending of this movie where he's like, yes, Nicolas Cage, Castor Troy, killed my son, and then by the end of the movie, he will take his son, and then I will raise your son as my son. And then,
that was a real John Woo move. A lot of John Woo stuff happening in this movie as well. Yeah. We're now experts on John Woo because we've done 4 of his movies over the course of this month. No one can challenge our John Woo John Woo knowledge
about that. But that's
it feels very much like one of his Hong Kong based cop movies in terms of just like the seemingly clear-cut nature between good and evil, and then how muddy it gets once you sort of examine it under a more powerful lens. But then also just like that really comic booky weird stuff that's happening throughout the entirety of this movie, where it's like this is almost like cartoonish, but he doesn't. Yeah. He just loves doing it, right? Like, and then of course all the birds. He loves his birds. There's a bird.
There's seagulls this time.
There's doves in this movie at the end. That church is full of them for some reason.
Well, he walks through those seagulls, and I was like, oh, they're not doing doves in this movie, and then doves happen 2 seconds later. Cool. Well, that's the synopsis of the movie. That's what the movie's kind of about. Let's talk about our brief histories with the film and dial down into that.
A brief history.
Well, Dave, why don't you tell us your history with this film? And because it is a John Woo Spotlight Month, why don't you tell us a little bit about your relationship with John Woo?
My relationship with John Woo. Okay, I got to think about that one. But my relationship with the film is a little bit easier to answer. I saw this. So I'm a little bit older than both of you. I think Jason's a little older than Steven, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was 14 when this movie came out, and I was the exact right age. And not only just the year it came out, but it was like, we rented this movie on VHS. We watched it all the time. My friends and I, especially like, we were big into gangster movies, and this is like kind of a gangster movie. Like, I guess the Castor Troy character being the gangster in question here, and the underworld crime and just everything about it. We thought like Castor Troy is so cool with those 2 gold guns and his little box of drugs, and just being crazy and over the top. And just the the good versus evil, simple story of it all, and it just being a fun ride, and enjoyable. And this idea of like taking over somebody's life, I think it's kind of a science fiction movie, sorta,
For sure.
And it's just kind of really intriguing. Watching it again now, I'm like, wow, it's not the 90s anymore, really. This is very much a product of its time. And there's stuff in it that I think is dated, but I don't know. It's also like, I really love this cast. I love this. Like, I was watching it again, and like all the people that are in this movie that I forgot about. It's got Chris Bauer as like, he's the Russian guy in that prison there, Drogov, but he's the guy from True Blood and For All Mankind and all kinds of stuff. It's got John Carroll Lynch as one of the prison guards. It's got the guy from Supernatural as Tito, is the guy. It goes on and on. This cast
even like Colin Feore, the scientist who does the face swapping technology. Like every time he pops up in something, I'm like, it's our Canadian brother. We love you.
And I had no idea it was Canadian back then, but yeah, since I've seen like the Umbrella Academy and other stuff he's been in, I'm like, oh, it's Colin Feore. He's here, like Good Cop, Bond Cop, or whatever it was.
That's a really good movie too, actually. I love that movie.
And so I'm along for the ride. I'm like, I forgot it was 2.5 hours, this movie. Like, but it was, I was like, really could have been a lot shorter in retrospect, but it's very, when I think of like what is an action movie, like this is maybe what comes to mind almost first.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to show an alien an action movie to be like, this is what action movies are, you could easily just give them Face Off, and they would be like, it's got all the cheesy tropes of every sort of like light sci-fi action. It's kind of almost like got James Bond elements. It has a ton of Mission Impossible elements. You can tell this is probably the reason they decided to bring him on for Mission Impossible 2. But yeah, it's crammed with character actors that all, most of them were already at least a little bit established in some capacity when this movie was made. It wasn't like they were just picking them out of a trough kind of thing. But like, like CC Pounder and stuff showing up for 5 seconds, you're like, oh my God.
Tommy Flanagan, who's one of like Nick Cage's goons in the movie, or like, the Castor Troy's henchman. He has no lines. He's just in the background. I'm like, that's Tommy Flanagan from Sons of Anarchy.
I noticed that. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
It's like, so I was just like, I was really enjoying that. I always love good acting and good cast, even if like the story is kind of crazy or whatever. Like I was just, and I think what really still sells it for me is just like, it's the Travolta Nick Cage dynamic in this movie.
Yeah.
And then getting to flip, right? You go from playing the good guy to being the bad guy and vice versa. It was
probably really fun to be an actor. I mean, particularly the two of them probably had a really good time filming this, I would assume. I didn't really look into interviews or anything about it, but It is great when they do the flip and then they're basically just doing impressions of one another, right? Where Nick Cage is doing a John Travolta impression and John Travolta is doing a Nick Cage impression, and they're kind of pushing it to the limitations of like, what do you think of when you think of a Nick Cage performance? That's what John Travolta is doing in this movie. And what do you think of when you're doing a subdued John Travolta impression? That's what Nick Cage is doing throughout this. It's very funny.
Absolutely. And the second part of your question, which was, what's my relationship with John Woo? I think this was I think it's actually the second John Woo movie I ever saw. I think Broken Arrow, which is like a year before this, and I didn't, which is also a Travolta movie. That's Travolta and Christian Slater. And where Travolta also, you think he's the good guy, but then he turns into the bad guy. And it's probably how he ended up working with him on this movie. But I don't think I had ever seen anything from John Woo up until that point. And of course, yeah, I've seen Mission Impossible 2 and like, I don't know, some of his other things like Paycheck and whatever. It's like this would be my favorite John Woo thing that he's like of all time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I would say that there's nothing wrong with that because it is a very fun movie. Especially his North American movies, they don't stand out to me as much as his Hong Kong stuff. But this one is the one that kind of rises to the top, in my opinion. I'm sure there are people out there who would disagree, but I think this movie is his best North American movie. And it holds up to a degree that you have to be okay with the 90s stuff happening in this movie, and you have to be okay with letting go of your conceptions of movies being entirely logical and everything having to make sense, because you're not going to get that out of this. There's a lot of stuff
let that go.
Yeah.
That's task number one. Absolutely. And just to that comment there, yes, this is better than Broken Arrow, but not a terrible one.
I would say that like do the thing that you do when you watch Jurassic Park. You know that Jurassic Park tries to do its best to integrate the science and how it all works into the movie to explain it to you, but you don't have to look that deeply into it to enjoy the movie because it is a fun and good movie. Whereas this movie is like, you have to be even more willing to let go because they're not going to spend any time they try to explain the science of the face-off swap to you. And it's just like, okay, you don't need to do this much.
I'm watching it with Jane tonight. Right. And she was like, what? They don't give them contact lenses? Like, no, they said that their eye color is like the same. She goes, no, it's not. John Travolta has very crystal blue eyes, and Nick Cage's eyes are more green. And then they don't do anything with their teeth. She's like, the teeth are just the same.
Nick Cage has a very different teeth makeup than John Travolta, and also the eye thing is a good point. And I think they even show
they address these things, guys, in the movie. The scientist tells you to shut the fuck up.
True. Well, they talk about like the voice chip thing, I guess. But
they also talk about the eyes, and they also talk about the hair, and they talk about getting rid of his chub. Yeah, but what are they going to knock all their teeth out? Come on. They explain why they heal so quickly. They're like, we have this super Advil or something. It's something crazy. You're like, what are they?
I really enjoy the painkillers you left here for me, smoking with a fucking no face on, and I'm like, that can't be good for your fucking.
That's one thing that I really wish they did is that they did show in the reflection. He should have just looked like a skeleton, like like a Halloween skeleton. It would have been so good, covered in blood.
Since they also swap voices, the movie should have been called Voice Change. Yep. That's a great hot take.
Or Code Switch.
Code Switch.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, my first time watching this movie, I was kind of scared to watch this movie when I was a kid because I think it was rated R, and when I was a really young kid, anything that was rated R meant it was scary to me. So I was like, oh, rated R, that means it's horrifyingly scary, which is that was a product of my mom telling me that when I was a kid because she just didn't want me to watch violent movies. In her defense, I think that she thought that the violence would be scary to me, but the way that she explained it to me was like it would be like watching a Chucky movie or something, like Face Off and Chucky are the same level of fear that you're going to experience. Not the case, Mom. Anyway, so I didn't watch it until I was a teenager because it came out when I was too young, and then I think they rented it. I remember I came down and it was like they were watching it when I used to come downstairs and sleepwalk and shit, and then I would wake up while they were watching an action movie, and my mom would be like, "Go to sleep. It's a scary movie. You can't watch this." And I'd be like, "Okay." And then I watched it when I was a teenager, and I remember being like, this movie's fucking corny when I was a teenager because I was too cool to accept the fact that movies are allowed to be corny and you can still have fun with them. And then I revisited it years later when I got really into blazing, if you will. Going into the Nicolas Cage Walnut fun box, and and then I was like, this movie rules. And I watch it every once in a while, but I haven't seen it in a very long time, to the point that most of the details of this film were lost from my mind. And I remembered the face thing, the face swipe that he does, but I always remember, like, but I could kind of had forgotten about it. And then when I was watching it yesterday, I was like, I fucking hate that so much. Every time they do it, it gives me like a little pang of panic, like somebody's being violated. Like, it's almost like disrespectful, It's like taking off your glove and challenging somebody to a duel by slapping them in the face.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It feels
They're watching it this time, especially this time. I was like, oh, I hate it every time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, it was just.
It feels like a weird violation to me, and I don't like it. And every time it happened, I would go, ugh. And it's like, come up with something, because the whole point of that was so that he could do it to his wife later in the movie, so that she would know it was him, right?
Right.
And it's like, I get having that, but does it have to be like drag all your fingers from forehead to chin down someone's face? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, but I guess it kind of fits with a movie called Face Off, where you're
They wanted to come
finger in a
up with
face. I don't know.
finger face.
Finger in a face.
They do that a lot in the movie. Like I mentioned, the person that they show with like half a face when Eve is like, she's a doctor, and then right down to like the daughter having, like, she puts a different face on because she's sad about her brother dying. She like goes goth in the movie for a while, and then at the end of the movie you see that she's like not got the goth makeup on anymore.
Out loud I said, oh, she's normal now. She took her face off.
And that's what people who wear makeup will call taking their makeup off sometimes.
If you're
gotta take my face off.
99 years old.
Oh my god, I was watching that again today, where he comes home and she got in a fight, and then she's got like the eyeliner or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, my parents would have so identified with John Travolta and his
He's like, holy shit, I have a creep for a daughter.
Right.
I'm raising a punk.
And then even Nick Cage, like, you dress up like Halloween, the ghouls will try to get in your pets. I'm like, Jesus, like, she's got a little hair up there or whatever.
There's some stuff we'll get into with all that too.
Even the maniac pervert with two golden guns, who's a terrorist willing to murder people, is like, you shouldn't dress like that to the teenage girl.
It's not appropriate, but if you do, stab them.
So he slut shames somebody else's daughter in that scene, and it's not great. But
and then gives her a butterfly knife to take care of business.
Yeah, which is incredible. We'll get to all that. My history of this movie is interesting. Like, it's one of my dad's favorite movies, and I remember renting it as a kid. And then when it came out, my dad was like, "You got to see this Face Off movie." But the thing is, the weird thing about all of that is, I remember watching it like once, and I don't remember much about it from when I did watch it in '97. I would have been like 13 when it came out, so it didn't really affect me. I probably was like Steve, where it's like, oh, this is corny, but I also don't remember how over the top John Woo it is, and that was something that blew my mind watching it yesterday. It is the most John Woo, and also at the same time big budget, like Hollywood blockbuster, where there's a whole bunch of like non-John Woo stuff will happen for a long time.
We call those parts the non-Woo parts.
The non-Woo parts. But suddenly it goes into the killer. We did the killer last week, and there's so much, like, when John Woo is like, I'm going to do some art now, it just becomes the killer for like a brief moment, which was really interesting to see, like watching it through the lens of an adult. But and
it wouldn't be a John Woo movie if there wasn't a moment where two guys have a gun in each other's faces and they're slowly circling as the camera circles in the opposite direction.
That's true.
His go-to move. Yeah,
it's true. But the thing about this movie is it's such a Nick Cage movie. Like, it reminds me of, well, pretty much any movie where Nick Cage is allowed to just like go insane on camera, because they just let him do whatever. The opening bit where he's like a priest, there's two moments from that are so iconic. The face that he makes, and also like the head banging as a priest to the choir is like very like meme iconic in my opinion. And those things I've known about for years and years, obviously, but I never rewatched it other than like it's one of those movies I think would be on. I have talked about how when I was growing up, I'd be at a house
make
party.
a sting for that, like movie house party sting.
Movie house party sting.
It's just a bunch of people talking in a movie, very quiet in the background. That you can't tell what movie it is.
Or sound off. It was what it was. It's just that's just something that happened in Halifax. Like the kitchen party and a movie on in the living room are so synonymous with one another, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. It's one of those things. But I remember like this is one of those movies that would be on in the background at a house party or like at a.
I think it's because I'm a
sitting around.
psychopath and I cannot watch a movie while there's like people.
That's
like,
fair.
I'll turn the movie off or pause it, and I'll be like, "Can everyone shut the fuck up?"
I'm trying to watch Face Off. But it's just so many times I think this movie might have had like a TV run as well. Like I think it might have been on TBS for a minute as well.
That's where I definitely saw it when I was a teenager. It was on TV, like TNT or whatever, one of those, the Man Network, or whatever.
Like TV.
Yeah,
but that's what I remember the most about this. But the thing that I really want to focus in on the fact that it was my dad's favorite movie. My dad in the 90s fucking loved John Travolta. I cannot stress enough for some reason how much my dad loved John Travolta, and he's kind of a ham in this movie because he's kind of a ham is the thing about John Travolta. And my memory of it was always that John Travolta is this amazing actor, because when an adult, especially your own father, tells you something, you fucking listen, and that's goes into your head in the same way.
I'm with you on this because my mother, same thing, huge John Travolta fan, and my dad, like that was what was that show he was on in the 70s, like Welcome Home, Kotter, or something.
Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah, like I think your parents, you know, and my parents also from Nova Scotia. It must have been on there a lot. You know, or something.
There's a statue of John Travolta in the town square.
Yes. They took down the Cornwallis one and they put up Travolta.
Yeah, they replaced the statue of Winston Churchill with John Travolta at some point in the 90s. But that's when I think about Face Off, I think about my dad because he was so gung-ho about loving this movie when I was at the age of being like, everything's stupid, Dad. What are you, dumb? But there was another thing in addition to the movie on in the background at a house party. When I was a kid, me and my mom would go to the movie rental store and we would just rent the new movies. And this was one of those situations where I probably watched this with like my mom and my uncle and my aunt, just like we're having the family over to watch a movie. So
movie night.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to say I might have even seen this in Nova Scotia because I feel like I was there that summer that it came out. It came out in the summer, right? Like, am I remembering this right? What was the release date?
It came out
seems like
June of '97. I'm pretty sure I saw it that summer. I think that's the same summer Men in Black came out too, and I was definitely there for that. So it was
yeah.
I was in the theater for Men in Black. That's for damn sure. I remember every second of that movie and being like the most excited I've ever been to see a movie.
I would have gotten that movie this year for Christmas.
I was 10 years old when Men in Black came out, and I remember while watching it was when I finally like clicked like composers in my mind, like movie composers and how they have a vibe, because I was like, this music sounds a lot like, you know, probably a Tim Burton movie that I was obsessed with at the time. And then it clicked where I saw Danny Elfman's name music by, and then every moment after that, when I was like, this sounds like the Men in Black, I would be like, oh. Then it's like, what? Wait, no, I might be getting this wrong.
Yeah, this movie and Men in Black came out 5 days apart.
I might be wrong that he made the music for Men in Black.
Who, Will Smith?
No, I'm right. Will Smith, yeah. Smith made music?
No, he definitely had that. It was like a big song that year. The Men in Black.
No, I'm talking about like the score. You know, like Danny Elfman has a very particular type of vibe to his music. And that was like the moment that my brain clicked and I started to like recognize film scores as something that's almost as important as everything else in the movie. True. And some might say it's the most important thing.
As somebody that's going to a literal Final Fantasy concert tomorrow night, music is very important in all media.
Yes, you're right. Of course.
This guy always
but
has
yeah.
to flex his Final Fantasy tickets.
So, and now that I'm putting this together, it's 1997. I know I was there for Men in Black, so I was definitely there for this too. And I saw this in Nova Scotia. So
the thing is like violence or action wise, this movie and Men in Black, not all that dissimilar. So my mom, my mom took me to see Men in Black, she could have taken me to see Face Off, I think. Though Face Off's a little more sexual.
Yeah, definitely more like grabbing women's butts and this kind of stuff, and
pervy,
pervy, I guess. Yeah, it's
Gina Gershon. Let's talk about it.
No,
well, maybe let's not.
Is she in this?
She is. She gives birth to Castor Troy's son.
Oh, that's Gina Gershon. Yeah, you're right. Geez, I was like, where do I know her from?
Okay. This movie only.
But
Showgirls, another favorite episode of ours, the Showgirls episode.
True. We should do some production talk.
Why? All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit. Sound. Speed. Action!
You got a twofer there, Dave. You got to see the new video interstitials made by Alex Gao himself, and also you got to see the new picture that we used for that. So of course
oh my god,
somebody's at the door.
I'm too anxious.
Hey Steve, I was just having a bath and I remembered you guys are doing episode 216 of the podcast. I should just send you a quick vid to say congratulations. I'm so excited to watch. I know you guys are going to kill it, so I hope I see you guys soon. Okay, love ya.
It would have been crazy if it was full of bubbles.
A little bit of behind the scenes on that. He told me he almost did it straight Donald Duck, but like, that's too weird. He also said he was having a bath when the idea struck him to do it. So
he's a bath man. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's true. This movie is great, of course, because I was going to say this earlier, but I didn't want to give it away. But originally, this movie was supposed to have like a futuristic sort of tinge to it, according to Wikipedia. They wanted to...
I mean, it sort of does, but I know what you mean, where they probably would have been like Total Recall or something, or like what's that movie called? iRobot? I was going to call it iMovie, like iMovie. You know the movie iMovie? Where like just the cars maybe would have been a little bit more futuristic, and like maybe some matte paintings in the background or something, but they do still have magnetic boot prison, so some of that survived. Yeah.
And also, like, the fact that the scientist is just like the only person that can do it and does it so well that it's perfect. The fact that he can cut a person's
but then
face
at the end of the movie, we discover that he's definitely not the only person that can do it, because they swap his face back.
Like somebody else in the best team from Washington D.C. You know, like I guess he's the best on the West Coast. Maybe.
Yeah, he's the best West Coast doc. Yeah, he's like the best face doctor in the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear about other team ups that they had potentially wanted to go with for this movie? Because this list is insane, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think I've heard this before, but go for it.
Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
Okay, I definitely have heard that one. I think that was the original pitch, was going to be those two.
Like, would the voice box cancel out an accent? I don't know.
Stallone doing a Schwarzenegger accent? Like, give me that movie.
Stallone having to do an Austrian accent the whole time.
Michael Douglas and Harrison Ford.
Okay.
No.
Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin.
Oh, I'd be down for that.
Willis and Baldwin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
Keep in mind it's the 90s, not like old man Alec Baldwin and old man Bruce Willis. Denzel Washington and Wesley Snipes would have been insane. Like, remake the movie with them now and just remake it that way, and they're retired cops who have to face off.
That would be. I'm with you. Do it now. Make that.
The thing, I get actually that one would probably work better than most of the other ones, because Wesley Snipes does have like a very sort of a manic energy to him in a lot of movies, other than like the Blade movies where he plays super stoic. But like, you know, think about that. What's that one with Stallone where he's like basically like a cartoon character that gets frozen?
You mean Demolition Man?
Demolition Man, yeah. Like,
but also, you know, like you think of like To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. He's very eccentric in that. Like, Wesley Snipes can do a lot of different range, actually. I think,
and it would be funny watching Wesley Snipes having to do a Denzel impression kind of thing. It's similar to how that it actually worked out in this movie. I would like to see that, but yeah, keep going. I want to hear more.
Well, I have one more.
Jim Carrey and who?
Jim Carrey and Drew Carey. I want to hone in just before I get to the last one, because the last one is actually the worst of the list. But I think Michael Douglas and Harrison Ford would have been interesting, but it would have to be more like they would have to both be like lawyers or something. Yeah,
like to see them as like criminals and action stars and all this. Like, even then,
I'm still laughing at Jim Carrey and Drew Carey. That was funny.
No, that I want now.
Yeah.
So.
The last one on my list is the worst. It's equally stupid as all of them, but Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal.
I think I've heard that one too, like, because I definitely heard the Schwarzenegger Stallone one. I feel like that one has come up, but that's even worse, you know?
Yeah, because they're both kind of boring.
Yeah. And again, accents. Like, can you get the voice box?
Yeah, I feel like if we somehow give this movie a pass when it comes to like the teeth and stuff, and like the voice box stuff is fine because they more or less have the same sort of way of talking. But if you introduce a full hearty French accent in there, it's like, you think Steven Seagal is going to be able to be like, do it? No, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Seagal is one of the worst actors of all time.
It takes like an already flimsy concept in terms of like, we have to give the audience a lot of credit here to like give us leeway for this in the believability factor. As soon as you add an accent in there, it just, the whole house of cards is going to crumble.
My favorite part too is that like they have to, because they were like, okay, you're very similar, but you know, John Travolta's got a little extra middle-aged fat that Nick Cage does not have. So we're gonna do like a thing on you and like take off the fat, but then then they're gonna put it back on when they when he put his face back on at the end. I'd be like objecting to that.
Please.
Yeah,
like you know, we said you don't want that scar anymore. We'll take that off, but we're definitely putting the gut back in.
They saved it in like one of those blue coolers that you have at like on camping or whatever, and it just has a biohazard sticker on top of
your
it.
gut. It's going right back in. Boop, boop, you know, like
the love handles are in the blue cooler.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason.
At one point, according to Wikipedia, at one point while making the movie, they had considered. So John Woo pushed for that mirror scene where they shoot through the mirror. Yeah. At one point, they had considered having a whole shootout in a mirror factory.
Oh my god! This is where the mirrors are made. Yeah,
that'd be a little too much. I think they dialed it back enough.
That mirror thing did feel very much like, okay, this is John Woo for sure, being like, but they're looking at themselves, but it's actually the reflection of the enemy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we get it, John.
We all get
it, John. Yeah.
I immediately thought about that conversation you and I had, Stephen, where like John Woo's not known for his subtlety, and this movie is the least subtle thing I think I've ever watched. That doesn't take away my enjoyment for like how fun it is, but it's just the most hit you over the head with like metaphor, thinly veiled illusion. Like
and it's a lot of like very on the nose visual metaphor and things where it's like, you're not going to be writing like a thesis on this movie because the movie is pretty self-explanatory.
It has one of the best. It has one of the best title drops I think of any of the movies we've ever done, where they basically look at the camera. We'll get to that in a little bit when I obviously will bring that up, but it's Face Off, which was great. So the movie made 112 million in US.
You're talking about that moment where they say Face Off 7 times,
17 times.
Yeah,
take his face off.
It made 128.9 million overseas, and worldwide somewhere between 241 and 245 mil on an $80 million budget. So obviously they made 16 of these movies. Face Off 2, Face Off 3, Face Off again.
Face On.
They talked about a reboot and like for years, and like I think one might be in development, but like I don't know.
I feel like sequels to this doesn't make any fucking sense unless you're just doing it with different people, right? Like
Like, did Nick Cage die at the end? I was still like, I watched it.
It's a bit ambiguous. He doesn't have a bag over his head. You know, they like zip you up in a bag if you're dead, but like he seemed like, he might be
we
alive.
need to bring him for the surgery, right? And so they have him in like next to they have them next to each other in the ambulance there at the end, and he takes the ring off. I'm like, is he dead or is he just like messed up? You know.
We can assume he's dead, but they left it ambiguous enough just in case they wanted to make Face Off 2.
We're doing a sequel again, and you're swapping faces again.
Again? I feel like if they did a sequel, it would be a thing where they had to like team up somehow. Like they cut a deal with Castor and like, I need your face again.
Another guy has a different face, or he has one of our faces, or both of our faces.
Face Off technology has reached the furthest reaches of planet Earth, and we need to face off again with your old partners in whatever country we're feuding with in the actual world times. We're going to have to go to that country.
Well, think about the Mission Impossible face swapping technology, and that's all I could think about this whole time after doing Mission Impossible a couple weeks ago. Mission Impossible 2, and I guess Mission Impossible 1 has it, and I'm sure the other movies have it, but like Mission Impossible 2 was so specific the way they did it, which was just like you could just.
It's because it was part of the plot a lot of the time, being like dun 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 dun. Bum,
Mission Impossible 2, like they love that in that movie, like like hardcore.
There's at least 4 or 5 moments in that movie where someone pulls off a mask, and you're meant to be like, but really you're like, it's lost it, guys. Like you did it too many times. Now I just think that everyone's wearing a mask at all times,
especially if they don't talk.
Yeah.
And I have a fun fact about this movie. The writers of the movie, actually, this is not based on a true story, but they had a friend who, the two writers, do I have their names here? It's here somewhere. But they had a friend who got messed up in a skiing accident. And when they were, and he had to get like
his face got ripped off.
Yeah, they like literally they based this on a true story, heavy finger quotes, heavy chef fingers, to really turn this into something kind of special. Yep, thank you. There it is. We'll talk about that in the plugs. But really, they had a friend who had to be put back together, and they were like, "Let's make a movie about that." I want to know what that guy's up
weird
to.
That's how it sparked a very overly complicated story about people swapping faces, but like a tragic event in someone's life. They'd never heard about people getting reconstructive surgery before until that moment. It had to hit closer to home to spark the creative juices. I was surprised that this wasn't based off of like a comic book or something. Just how much it feels like something that you would see in a graphic novel or some sort of science fiction story post 1997 or whatever. But no, it's a completely unique tale. I'm sure that the concept has been done before in other things in science fiction history, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's kind of like a Freaky Friday sort of meets or something.
It's true. This is Freaky Friday, except it's way grosser.
Yeah.
Instead of getting struck by lightning or whatever, they literally rip each other's faces off and swap them.
They have a weird scientist that does it. A lot of it was practical, obviously CGI, but a lot of it was practical and a use of a bunch of effects. And it sort of is heralded as a big movie for its era that sort of changed what you could do in an action movie, which is interesting because we see it now in the future as kind of schlocky, kind of like goofy. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I even remember it being this movie being a big deal. Like, oh my God, they showed them getting their faces changed. That's crazy.
$80 million.
I don't remember it. Yeah. They spent $80 million. They spent a lot of that budget on rubber faces, to float in pools of clear liquid. I remember this movie being like a thing that almost everybody that I know has either heard of or seen, right? Like it's one of those movies where you say Face Off and most people will know what you're talking about. You don't have to explain it. At least within my circles. But
no, that's apt.
Yeah. I don't remember it being heralded as like an achievement in visual effects, but I mean, I was also scared of the movie until I was a teenager, so I don't know. I don't know.
The 90s were wild for that kind of thing. Every movie that came out, it seemed like everybody was like, what will they do next? And then The Matrix happened.
It's because
And then,
there
like,
was
oh,
like
they did
a
everything.
renaissance of special effects, right? Where everything was being discovered on a weekly basis in terms of what they could do digitally versus clinging on to visual effects, which were practical. And that's still an ongoing battle. And
Like, yeah, like just I bring up Men in Black again because you think of that movie that's got a lot of practical aliens, but a lot of CG ones too, right? So
Yeah.
they were definitely in that middle road where they.
Mhm. But the practical stuff in that movie looks great, and like that was one thing that I always kind of tip my hat to the Men in Black franchise as it went, was up until that newest one, which I know I've seen, but I have absolutely no memory of it. But even the third one, the time travel one, like they had a lot of practical effects going on in that movie, and I was always like, good for these guys for still doing it. You know, they could be lazy and not, but they still got weird rubber makeup going on for a lot of guys. Anyway, should we talk about the body?
We should talk about the body.
Holy moly, let's talk about the
Body of the Everybody back up, because here comes the body of the episode.
So this is the section of this is the podcast. You got to it. You got through all of the stuff before, and now it's after that. What? The movie opens up with credits over John Travolta and his son at a fair. We have Nick Cage sporting a great mustache up in the bushes, and he snipes John Travolta, who is Sean Archer. The shot goes through, I think.
yes.
Sean.
Yes.
And
it's a whole plot. He's got a scar in his front. He gets shot in the back. The whole movie is like, I wish I could move my nipple scar over closer to my nipple or whatever.
Because that's the exit wound, right? But
yeah.
And then it fast forward 6 years. Obviously, Travolta survived it, and they're after Castor Troy.
Did he though? Did he survive it?
And just for the record, this is not set in the future because, like, they clearly show his son dies in 1991. So this is definitely supposed to be. This is the 1997 of this world.
Yeah, this is 3 weeks later, I guess.
It's always crazy when they take a concept like this and just decide to not don't tell us the year. Like, we don't need to know. That's when you like make it difficult for people to wrap their head around things, is with like, we're going to give an actual world date. But I guess there are people who are obsessed with that kind of bullshit.
I guess that, yeah. And at the time it was like, well, this is what like the real fancy doctors can do with their high tech, top secret kind of technology. But like the whole part where they're growing that guy's ear, right? And like, I guess the 3D printer, like that's kind of exists sort of today, in a sense, but it was conceptual. Like wait till you see what the future is going to be like.
If we can 3D print a toy, which they could do back in this era as well, right? With like lasers and like heat activated resins and things. It's like they were taking that concept and using it for flesh. But it also like it was cool because it looked like it was growing around the plate that it was on and stuff. I'm like, oh, they're legitimately using some sort of flimsy science to be like, this is what we're doing. We understood what it was doing. We don't have to go any deeper than that, right? Like, we understand what's happening. We don't need it to be any more believable than that, in my opinion. And I think it was serviceable, and I wasn't sitting there being like, but how does but then like, I was more like, yeah. The things that were making me be like, what was like, they made that many magnet boots? Like, what? Those magnet boots are probably so expensive to make.
The magnet boots that looked like the boots from the jump boots from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
They probably were the same boots. I bet you they are.
I was thinking that.
Like, we have all these boots from this Mario movie sitting in a warehouse. You want them?
They made them for like merchandising purposes, and no one bought them. And they're like, well, what are we going to do with the warehouse full of boots? Let's just make a movie where it's like a magnet prison. Yeah. And that's where Face Off.
Let's do a Batman prison.
They were writing it. They're like, magnet prison, the movie. And then it's like, he gets a phone call and he's like, what do you mean his face got ripped off in a skiing accident? And he's like, hold on a second.
So they're after Castor Troy, played by Nick Cage, and when you see Castor briefly doing some sort of hacking, he's got the most 90s computer with a skull on it, like an ASCII art skull. So it's bad. And Travolta is in the FBI. He's like an anti-terrorist unit.
You're almost wondering. You're like waiting for the skull to go like,
yeah,
like make a weird.
Very hackers.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're a crazy hacker, you're gonna do something like that just to fuck with people, right? Like,
I guess
Oh,
Pollux
absolutely.
made all that. He made made the interface for the
Yeah, but I feel like he probably was also getting instructions from Castor. Like Castor was like, I don't know, can't you make like a naked lady shaking her tits or something in the background? And he's like, okay.
Yeah, can you have it say when I arm it that I want to blow you away? Can you do that for me, bro? Thanks.
And he did, yeah. That's definitely what happened. That conversation happened for certain.
And we find out that they were hired by militia nut jobs, which I guess like coming off the Oklahoma City bombing of like 95.
Yeah, that only happened
I'm like,
2 years before.
so like Timothy McVeigh had $10 million to pay like somebody like Timothy McVeigh had $10 million to pay Castor Troy and Pollux Troy to do this.
I don't think they ever really reveal who the people above were that were paying them or were meant to pay them, right?
No. It's just like those militia.
Who
nut
are
jobs
the
get to keep
bad
their
guys
money.
in Back to the Future? The like Libyans.
The Libyans.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Biff, the Biffians.
but the fact it's interesting watching this whole thing from an anti-terrorism point of view. Like this is what 4 years before 9/11, right? So it's kind of like no, we're worried about the domestic terrorists. We're worried about the Timothy McVeighs and getting them and whatever else. It's not like it doesn't have like this like I guess True Lies would be like an example of more like no, it's terrorists or
an international incident sort of thing. It's because I mean there was for a long time like the idea of a terrorist attack happening to America via outside sources was like an inconceivable thing, and that was the idea of science fiction, right? Like,
well, I guess there was the attempt to blow up the World Trade Center in like the earlier 90s, right? That was that was averted, right? And so that was, that was a close call. They'll never get that close again to blow
never again. Never forget, never surrender. Yeah. So he arms it in the LA Convention Center, dressed as a priest. For some reason, there's a choir there. I don't know, because then it also says that like the event that's happening in the convention center is like a drinking convention, like an alcohol convention for like, I guess like suppliers or something. Like, how you go to like events to be like, we're trying to sell this new alcohol for vendors across the country. Like that's
for
the
communion wine. That's what
yeah, it was a wine convention for churches. I feel like honestly, it's probably one of those things where John Woo and the writers, like they had it in their mind being like, it'll be so much cooler if there's a choir singing hallelujah. And he joins in cause he's crazy, but then it's like, they're at a convention center. Why are they there? Again, the movie, if you question anything, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a very iconic scene because he does like the head spin, head bang thing, which is great. Then he walks over and he like fuels up a choir girl, which was also like it's like what his character's like, but also seems kind of into it. So was she in on all of this? Like again, don't question it too much, but it's very like cinematically, this guy is an insane Joker type villain character, which was cool.
I don't think that she was in on it. I think that she was just a person singing in the choir who found him to be attractive, and he noticed that.
This was a thing in the 90s, in the 2000s, for quite frankly, where it's like all women want is for you to come up and grab them and like, and show confidence or something. It was like,
it helps if when you're grabbing them, you say honk honk or a wooga, and
and they love it. They just like, oh
yeah, they cannot resist.
So romantic. This is
also, I think that Nicolas Cage, in this era, like he is quite handsome and attractive, and like he's just weird. That's the thing, is like Nicolas Cage is a handsome and attractive man. He just kind of has like a weirdness to him as well in terms of both his physical appearance and just the way he acts, right? Like everything about him is just kind of strange, which also adds to the attractiveness, I think, for a lot of people. It's like he's so weird, but like that's part of the reason that I am into it, and he's jacked. You always forget that he's jacked until he takes his shirt off and you're like, oh, he is legitimately rocking like a 10-pack of abs and massive pecs.
And he's 10 years younger than Travolta, right? So he's I don't know, he's got more of an energy than Travolta does in this movie.
That's what I was saying about Travolta looking like a human ham, because he's getting up there in the years. And we also what we see about
I thought you meant that he was just acting like in the sense that you call an actor a ham, but you mean he looks like a pig.
He looks like an anthropomorphic rum ham.
Right.
you know, he still looks good here. He was younger, but the thing is about Travolta is that like there were shots where you can see that he's already starting to lose his hair, and he's got like a piece, and he fucking he's kind of like phoning it in a little bit compared to Nick Cage, who is just.
I don't know if I'd agree with this. With this analysis, no, because I think he also is doing a good job. Like when he's doing, you have to remember that when he's playing Nicolas Cage, that's not Nicolas Cage.
That I do agree. That I do
John
agree
Travolta.
with. The segments where he is in full Castor mode, like I do think that he did a good job with that. And but the thing is the other way. Nick Cage doing like a Travolta was really interesting to me because he plays it so subdued. And they are doing impressions of each other, but the voice box change sort of makes it so they don't have to literally do like a voice impression, which is, I guess, more work because.
But I mean,
doing
I guarantee you on set, like Travolta was probably being like, "How would you do like in your character? Like, how would you do this?" And then he would probably do a mimic of that because he's doing a really good job of like capturing the energy of Castor before he turns into not Castor throughout, right? Like all of those mannerisms that he has in the beginning, Travolta is successfully, in my opinion, conveying those, and you realize it's Castor every time. You know, like he's got this sort of like this ambiguity in terms of like sexuality, where he's just sort of like, you know, like the queer villain of the 80s and 90s and like of all of cinema. Like he's kind of got that kind of energy going on, where everything is just oozing with confidence and sexuality. In any situation, it doesn't matter who he's dealing with, you know, men, women, in some cases, children. Ugh, what the fuck you doing, bud? Like when he's like takes the cigarettes and stuff, like all of that is just it's uncomfortable and but he's doing a good job. So this is why I don't agree with you calling it a phone-in performance, because I think that
I think it's just like I agree that like I think Nick Cage does a better job being Sean Archer than like Travolta does being Castor Troy, although I don't think it's terrible, but I think it's just it's hard to like live up to Nick Cage. Like, absolutely. Okay, you're actually Nick Cage wearing your own your face. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's where I was getting hung up, because the way that I remember this movie is that they're both like on equal ground, but that's why I said early in this episode, like this feels more like a Nick Cage movie than it does a Travolta movie, because Nick Cage is just so good throughout the whole thing.
But
he
also
plays both.
You also have to like, you have to like, Nick Cage is at a different level than most actors, like in all of Hollywood history. Like he's like one of those fearless performers that when the camera is on, like he doesn't have any reservation about just going to some weird level that you don't expect, right? Like when he's doing the thing where he's looking in the mirror at himself, and he's like,
and then he just turns around to Jenny Gershon and she's like, "Hey."
Like that is insane. Like I can imagine them filming that, being like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Which is also a very iconic moment. Like that's also a very iconic, like meme thing that's been used over and over for years and years. Which is something I love about this movie. I wanted to just bring this back up again. I would say I'm more of an awooga. Are you guys more of a honk honk or more of an awooga?
I mean, I say honk honk more than I say awooga, but I don't know.
I don't know if I'm either, but I go with the awooga.
Okay. So. But when I say honk honk, I go honk honk, and when I say awooga, I go awooga. So you know, it depends on the mood, really.
True. So Castor meets up with some of his cronies at the airport. He's got 2 awesome gold guns, which I was immediately like, whoa. He's also got a bunch of pills and weed joints, and he's evil as fuck. Yes. He warns them not to go downtown.
The box is so strange because it's got like gum and weed, pre-rolled joints,
chiclets, fucking weirdness.
Other drugs, like other, I don't know what they, blue pills and white pills. And,
it was like a weird product placement mixed with just like, what is this box for? And what is he gonna do? And like, this guy is such a weird, creepy, strange man. And then I'm like, and then he's smoking weed. I'm like, is this going to chill him out? And then he smokes like a full joint and then has a massive, you have to remember he's like high as hell during this entire plane chase.
It's funny because it's like Chiclets probably had to, some entertainment lawyers had to be like, well, we're going to put your product in the movie, but it's going to be next to all of the drugs. So they had to sign off on that, which I think is funny.
Yeah, but it's a gum company. And you know what? A lot of people right after they smoke, they have gum. So it's like, They're like, of course, yeah. What else are you gonna put us next to?
Right.
People don't chew gum in any other situation other than smoking.
People going to church, Steve.
True,
Put the
like-
gum next to us going to church.
No, you're not allowed to chew gum in church.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think that's that scene though where he gets the guns and the box and he interacts with his brother, you know, and you got that scene at the beginning of the church, but I think this scene really kind of establishes a little bit more like he's an eccentric, flashy dresser kind of criminal. He's not like he's not like maybe like a normal like what you would think of as just a criminal, right? Like he's
like a comic book character. Like
comic book character, yeah.
He comes out, he's wearing a just past the knee length trench coat with like a purple suit underneath. He gets someone else to take that off for him and then put on another jacket for him. It's like this is like a Hitman villain or something, you know, like someone from the video game Hitman. The early games too, when it was real wacky. And like I like it. It feels like an anime at times, you know, like when he gets out of the car and the jacket is blowing in like a crazy direction where it's like they clearly have a big fan and they're pointing it at him because no one else's clothes are blowing around except for his giant ass coat. And it's good. It's good stuff. It's the kind of thing that you're like, he's oozing aura in every way. And everybody here loves him. Like his whole team loves him. Like
loves him. Yeah, his crew, like who never talk, but then his brother, he's got this interesting relationship with, and he ties his shoes and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think the implication is that his brother is like kind of borderline severe neuro divergent in some capacity or whatever. It's like he doesn't know how to tie his shoes, but he has this mind that can create impenetrable and undiffusible bombs or whatever. Like, which is like,
he's kind of his Rain Man, and he can also, but he's also feeding his brother drugs to control and manipulate him to a certain degree. Like they establish all this with a few lines of dialogue, but
Castor also has this really strange character trait where like, and that everybody knows, all the women in his life know that he likes to have his tongue sucked, and we get to see that in a moment when he like tells who would become, we find out as an FBI agent, suck my tongue. And the reason I bring that up is it's so interesting to me that so many people know that he has that weird trait. He must have so many weird traits that people.
How many people know?
Well, they Gina Gershon, Sasha brings it up later in the movie when she gets on top of.
That's one person because they have a child together.
And then this character.
Just said so many people. I was like, to all the women that he meets.
I think it was brought. I think it's brought up
again.
I wouldn't have honed in on so much if it wasn't brought up a couple times. But anyway, maybe it was only brought up a couple times. It doesn't matter. I thought it was funny because he does do that to the woman, and then the cavalry shows up. The FBI shows up. Turns out she's FBI, and he takes her hostage and fucking kills her.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean,
she. The first moment in the movie where I was like, God, bad move, lady. Why would you reveal your gun?
Even the way Travolta is trying to capture him, he's like, I'm just gonna go chicken against the plane, and I'm like, what was the plan here? Exactly.
The helicopter moment is so ham-fisted, but it's cool on video, on film.
It is cool. There's nothing not cool about it. It's just crazy. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
He commandeers the helicopter and basically just like puts the front of the helicopter on the back like fin of the plane, the back like rudder or whatever, and it pushes it down. But he like Castor's freaking out inside of the plane, and basically it takes the engine out, and then Castor shoots the pilot, and they crash into a hangar, all down a runway while police are chasing. Like this is where I was like, this is the biggest budget, I think, besides maybe Mission Impossible 2, but this has more big set pieces. The most John Woo, just being given unlimited budget.
Yeah, I mean, there's three big ones, right? There's this, which is humongous, and it's right at the beginning. Yeah. And then there's the one at the end with the boats, which is also pretty big, but it's not as big as this. And then there's the one
in the middle, right?
Which is like, I think the best one in terms of
the helicopter on top of the prison, because I thought that was a pretty big.
The one where like I guess he's at the
one where everyone dies.
Like the skylight smashing through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, not just that, but like the entire the entire apartment getting absolutely riddled with bullets and everyone getting like it's just like a huge.
I want to know what the body count is in this movie. Cops and robbers who get killed. In this. Like it's kind of like there's even that part where Nick Cage, like as Sean Archer, is escaping from the prison, and like he doesn't kill any cops, but Chris Bauer kills a lot of those guards.
Yeah,
and you know, it's just like casualties, right? It's just this whole little war between these two bigger than life characters. And speaking of which, you know, they're Jason, when they get into that hangar, all the other cops disappear. It's just it's just Travolta and Cage, and everyone else has
we also get 3 1v1.
Well, the thing is when they turn off the magnet boots, people's regular shoes get stuck to the regular floor. It reverses the polarity. So the cops are like, damn it.
Yeah. But this hangar moment was cool. They basically have a shooter in a hangar, but there's like a plane engine in the middle of the room that can somehow be turned on and off like a video game.
At this private airport, they go into a deep, dark test facility for experimental engine parts or some shit where they have like a full wind tunnel. We're like, what is it? Oh, whatever. Like who fucking cares?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like what I do love about that fight too is that they both know each other's guns and like how many bullets they have left. But well,
they did that in The Killers last week. This felt.
Listen, Jason, you and I both know that he does that in every fucking movie. Everybody knows how many bullets are in the other guy's gun. Hardboiled does it. It's like I counted it. Like he does it, and it's always when they have the guns at each other. It's like you got one left, and then like but that's also a staple of action movies overall, right? He just does it a lot. But I mean, the Wachowskis a million times over have been like John Woo movies have also been like a huge influence on, and they do that same thing in You're Empty, Mr. Anderson.
So it's also this idea that these two know each other because they're these great adversaries, and they have to know each other, like their tactics and what they're up to and stuff like that. So that makes it more plausible when they do have to assume each other's lives.
Yeah, and it's good though because it's like it makes sense for John Travolta's character because he has been obsessed with this man since he murdered his son, and I assume probably before that as well, right? Like I don't think it was.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, how far back does the relationship go? Why was Castor trying to snipe Sean Archer?
I assumed he was hired to do that, but at the same time, it could have been personal revenge of some sort. We don't know, but like
he could have just been the one that was investigating him, and then
So how about this? Not a sequel, a prequel. We get Timothy Chalamet. And Timothy Chalamet again, and
is he Nick Cage or is he Travolta?
Both of them. He plays both characters.
Okay.
Who's a meteor Timothy Chalamet? Like what's Jacob Tremblay? What's he looking like these days?
I'm trying to the Bear. The guy from The Bear.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't know his name either, but
Salami Pumpernickel or whatever his name is.
Salami Pumpernickel.
The guy who played Springsteen in that other one.
Yeah. So we get
Springsteen
versus Bob Dylan.
Right. That's what we wanted at the Oscars, and that's what we wanted in Face Off. So come on.
Fuck, I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what it is. Whatever, it's fine.
Well, they get face to face, and Castor tries to recruit him. And then
are you telling me they have some sort of face off?
They have a face off right here. They have multiple.
And they've counted each other's bullets.
Yeah, which is the most John Woo shit ever. But his bullets are out. He tries to get him with the knife, and then gets blasted by the plane engine, which was great. But not blown up, just pushed back into that like weird.
He gets thrown down a wind tunnel, like one of those science wind tunnels where they use it to test. I don't know, plane wings and stuff to see wind resistance. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Wind resistance is exactly
like he's in a coma after that, and like that would be like the best case scenario. Like his whole body would have been broken for how hard he hits this metal grate.
I mean, he hits a chain link fence, I guess, is what it looks like. So it's like I guess that has some sort of give to it, so it wouldn't kill him. But
I thought somehow that I misremembered this whole movie, and I thought he was gonna get like waffle stomped through the fucking cage.
What did you think the movie
was? Waffle stomp? And I know. Well, if you don't know what a waffle stomp is,
we all know what it is.
Okay. But what I thought was funny is like over to Sean's home life, kid suspended, she's goth now. he tells the wife he's made, he doesn't have to go and do
He says, "I did
quests
it
anymore.
Finally,
Caster's
fucking killed it."
done. He gets a desk job. Fucking credits. That's the end of the movie.
I mean, he thought it was credits. We all did, even though the movie's only been on for 8 minutes at this point. But we were convinced that he had succeeded in his task of avenging his dead son. But no, that's not the case.
Nope.
They bring him back in when he goes in the next day, and everybody's clapping for him, right? Like they're all like, "Yay, you did it! You finally completed your main quest in your life. You've completed the game." And then he refuses to acknowledge their gratitude and their sort of their celebratory round of
The
applause.
CIA sent over some champagne. He's like, send it back. I don't want it.
Send it straight to hell. Or how about this? Even better. And then he lists everybody who died on the mission that we just saw, which, at the same, you're like, oh yeah, all those people did get fully murdered during the capture of this man. So he has all the right to be upset. But
when he turned around and came back, I thought he was gonna be like, you guys drink this champagne together. And then I looked around the room and I was like, there's 50 people in there.
Yeah, it's like,
what is this for? But yeah, he just lists off the people that died, and then CCH Pounder fucking shows up, and I marked out. I was like, yeah, CCH.
She's here, and she's like, how many jobs do you have as a running for the DA?
For the DA.
Yeah.
She's so good though.
She is good, yeah. But she also, like, when she showed up, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be sort of like his quest giver throughout the movie. Nope. She dies so quick. So does everybody in this moment. But anyway,
it's Act 1 still. She dies in Act 2.
She reveals that the bomb is still out there. They need to figure out where it is and how to disarm it, but nobody knows where it is except for the brother who's in prison, but he won't speak to anybody but his brother. And he's like, well, he's dead. What the fuck are we can just bring him in here. I'll pound the information out of him in an interrogation room. And she's like, no, what we need to do is actually, what if we did this instead? And it does like an interesting pan movement to show Nicolas Cage in a coma, like breathing heavily, like he's dreaming like a dog. And then this is where we get the reveal that there is some sort of crazy face-off technology that we're going to go through, and she explains it to us with the help of Colm Feore, who, again, one of my favorite people to show. I think he's right up there with like Lance Hendrickson and like Clancy Brown when they show up in a role that you're not expecting them to show up in. Just has an interesting presence and always like delivers on the role that they're meant to do. And one of my favorite movies, The Chronicles of Riddick. Remember when he plays like the king of the necromorphs or whatever?
Right.
I don't know that, but I saw his name come up in the credits, and I was like, where the fuck do I know that name from? He's bad cop, Bond Cop, Bad Cop, obviously, but he's one of those actors that's been in a bunch of movies we've done on the show. And I couldn't put it together because I thought he was Michael Gross for a second.
No.
Just for a second. But he's not, obviously.
If
but
you've seen the Umbrella Academy, he's like the dad
right,
in
yeah,
that. His performance of that is out of this world. It's crazy.
He's one of the best parts of that show. The show fell off hard, but it.
One of my friends had a cottage, and this particular friend was very wealthy when I was a kid, and I would go like when I was like a teenager, and I'd go and Colm Feore had like a lake house on the same lake, and like we went to dinner at his house. Wow. Which was really cool. He was very nice.
Oh, he was there. Okay.
We went to dinner with his family, and I was like, awesome. I didn't know. He was like, we're going over to these people's house for dinner, and they're like, just dress nicely or whatever. But it's summer. I'm like, dress nicely. Like I have shorts and t-shirts. I guess you just mean don't wear my bathing
dress like you're about to meet a movie star.
Yeah. And I went in, and I didn't like connect it fully, but then I was like, is this the fucking guy from Chronicles of Riddick? the whole time.
Are you the doctor from Face Off?
Yeah, wait a minute. Did you perfect Face Off technology?
Can we face off each other right now, please? Because I want to see if you can do it.
And then once I connected it in my head, I got really nervous for some reason. And I found it difficult to talk to him and stuff. So I was like, but we just had dinner and left. And I was like, so that guy's an actor, right? And they're like, yeah, he's been in some stuff. And I was like, he's in Chronicles of Riddick, guys. The best movie
Bond
ever
Cop,
made.
Bad Cop 1 and 2. Come on.
I don't think Bond Cop, Bad Cop had come out yet, but I do like that movie.
No. Well, you have to have a Colm Feore week at some point.
Yeah.
Just 1 week where we.
But I'll
cover
call my
multiple
friend and
movies,
see if they still have connections and see if we can get them on the
get him on the show.
Well,
If there's one person, that would be a good 7 degrees of comfort.
listen, they have dinner with him all the time, so I don't know if they even still have that lake house, but anyway.
But
We'll see.
during this sequence, we do see them creating the ear and the body parts, and they're going to flip faces, is what I wrote. Obviously, it's the movie's Face Off. So I guess to
That
infiltrate
was the alternate
gang,
title, Flip Face.
Yeah, flip
Flip
face.
phones had just come out. It was a big thing.
So during the sequence, though, I wasn't really sure what like the plan was. They kind of just like present it like I forgot that the whole thing was he's going to go into prison to talk to the brother and find out any information he can. But
I mean, it's pretty clear. They explain it pretty well because it's like I forgot the prison even existed, and I definitely forgot that it was a Super Mario Brothers prison. But
it is very much like a prison you would see in Super Mario Brothers,
because they make it clear that he's not going to talk to anybody but his brother, and then they introduce the face-off technology, and I'm like, okay, so he's gonna go in, and this guy knows. They also make it very clear that like nobody knows him better than I do. I'm in his head. I've been in his head for the last 7 years. I know exactly everything about him. So it's like you're the only one that can do it because you'll go in there, and if he asks you weird questions, you will know the answer, and no one else will know it as well as you. So the only reason they're sending him in, because like they said, they have to suck out his fat and like reconstruct a bunch of things and like plug his hair and shit to make his hairline thinner. It's like, yeah, we probably could find somebody who's a lot closer to his physical physique, but like now we need you because you'll know what medicine the brother is on and stuff.
Right.
Like, top of your head.
That makes sense, I guess, enough,
Yeah.
You know, in a movie that
For sure.
doesn't
And
need-
also we want to have 2 movie stars in this movie, not Nick Cage and a guy who looks slightly like Nick Cage.
yeah, his stunt double.
Yeah.
So,
I like also that they show that Sean Archer is such a talented interrogator that the first guy he interrogates shits himself. So you know that he means business. But we also have Sasha, played by Gina Gershon. She shows up. She's the lover, I guess, of Castor Troy or Castor Troy.
yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. She of course is uncooperative and claims she hasn't seen Castor. The next guy gets his ass kicked for mentioning his son.
That's the
And gives
brother
up-
of Gina Gershon too. It's,
Right, yeah, the bald guy who has like the faded out eye. He gives up the date, the 18th of July or whatever. I forgot to write down.
I guess it would have to be the 18th of October because we know that he goes to the grave on his son's birthday, which they established
Right.
10/19. So
Right,
October
good
19th.
catch. Good catch. Sean is told that it's off the books by CCH Pounder, and we have to keep it a secret from everybody, including your family. And he's going to do it. So he heads home.
Who
We have to
authorized this though? Like that's it
Right?
makes no sense.
CCH Pounder authorized it.
Yeah, it's a
The
secret
actor,
mission.
not the
There's
the,
only
not
there's
the person who she's playing in the movie. CCH Pounder herself said,
But
She-
like clearly CCH Pounder's boss would have to know, right?
No, it's a secret quest. No one knows about it, Dave. So the thing is that this is the thing that the whole movie like lynches itself upon this idea is that it's so secretive that nobody outside of this room knows about it. And that's why when he escapes from his coma and puts on the other guy's face, he just burns all these people alive. And that now no one on earth knows that their faces have been switched except for the 2 of them. Because he doesn't even tell like his friends, he doesn't tell anybody that the faces have been switched until much, much later
It's
on.
like you can't even tell your wife. Why not? Why can't you
Yeah.
tell your wife? Like what is gonna
Because
happen?
if she knows that the whole plan goes out the window, damn it!
Yeah.
then the terrorists win.
So good.
If like your wife knows, it doesn't like I don't understand any of it. But the other thing
your impression of CCH Pounder is spot on.
dead on,
Damn it,
yeah.
Dutch!
I'm just doing
But the other thing I couldn't help
Dennis
but think about
version.
was like, watching. I remember 24, Jack Bauer, and that's like post 9/11. It's like if we need to stop a bomb from blowing up innocent people, we will do anything. We'll make people shit themselves. We'll stick a gun right in this guy's eye until he tells me what I want to know.
And I'm gonna put it in his good eye. He's got one shit eye and one good eye, and I'm gonna make sure that I take out the good eye.
like, all these ideas were like present years earlier. Like were being presented in this movie.
True. Sean Archer heads home. We find out about the scar on his chest, and then he tells his wife it won't be the end of it until we truly, take him out. There's one more thing I have to do. And she's mad, obviously. And then
she wants her husband back. He's been gone. He basically died the day that his son died, and she knows that this is the only way to resurrect him. His ghost will come out of the grave and go back into her husband's body.
But he's very loving, after that, he goes and tucks in his daughter, and
but we find out from her diary later on that they haven't made love in months.
True.
What a loser.
Which,
what a loser.
What a loser.
Guy doesn't even fuck his own wife.
Sean and his guy discuss the mission, or the scientist, Colm Feore. He wants the scar to remain where it was originally because it means so much to him. They do the face-off procedure, and he basically does a Batman 89 where it's like, get me the mirror. He doesn't, but he looks in the
but it's
mirror,
super reminiscent
and he
of that
freaks
scene.
out. Yeah,
that's also like, I mean, it's the most iconic version of this scene that exists, I think, in all of cinema. But like at the same time, how many different ways can you film a scene where somebody's face is fucked up, where you're not allowed to reveal it, without it looking like the scene from Batman '89 where he's like, "Mirror, give me the mirror." Like
I was thinking about it the whole time, where it's like it's a very Nick Cage performance, even though he's playing Nick Cage. That this was a good job by Nick Cage to play it this way, where he's still normal. And also what I thought about the whole movie is like the mental toll that it must have taken to look in a mirror and see your face perfectly as a different person had to have had, like, this dude, Sean Archer needs therapy like bad for the rest of his life.
Not even, it's also like he's looking into the face of the person that murdered his child.
True.
Like it's a little more heavy than just his face is different, because a regular person would be like, oh, this is fucking weird, but he's like, I'm looking into the face of the man that I've wanted to murder for every day for 7 years.
My biggest complaint with this movie is the dubbing. Like, so he still has the Travolta voice, but it's Nick Cage, right? And it's bad. Like it's not synced up. The audio doesn't sound right to me. It's my biggest complaint is every time that Nick Cage has Travolta's voice,
right?
And I'm just like, oh,
we're only for a minute.
Yeah, they only do it for a minute, but they could have done a better job with it, right?
So maybe that's why they only did it for a minute, because it was shit. Because you're like, this is terrible. We need to cut all this.
I bet there was a plan to just have it for the whole movie, and they were like, we got to put some sci-fi shit in. We got to put some garbage in where it's like, we also put a chip in your throat that in your voice box.
There was never a version of this movie where their voices are swapped the whole movie. That would be insane. Because then everyone would know that they're not the right person.
The movie's already insane.
Because they established like, oh, well, it's very delicate. Don't let it be punched or even sneeze violently, right? But then we're seeing Nick Cage get his ass beat in prison constantly.
Couple of times, yeah.
That's so good.
But it doesn't happen until the very end. But we also established that Nick Cage loves doing a neck chop when he's fighting, like the real caster. So he neck chops him, and that's why his voice turns back to dad voice in the perfect moment to have a moment being like, "It's me, your father. I'm your real father," or whatever.
I was in Saturday Fever.
Oh jeez, I'm your dad.
Oh jeez. It's revealed that we do have a 2-day ticking clock through all of this, obviously. And we even get like a fast John Woo style, like they show the bomb for a minute, for a second.
You forget about the bomb pretty quickly because it gets dealt with pretty quickly.
Yeah, because they have to keep showing it to us because it is clear and present the whole time. Like the whole time this movie's going on, a plague is about to explode out of the Los Angeles amphitheater or whatever.
Yeah.
So they get Sean. Okay, so I have to tell you guys, I'm going to be saying Sean as Castor and Castor as Sean through my notes. And I'm sorry if that gets confusing, but there's no other way to fucking do it because right now, John Travolta is
just say the names of their characters.
But
for the rest of the movie, that's how it is.
Okay. That's true. I also recognize that at the end of the movie, I was like, "Oh!"
Until the very last scene of this movie, which is him showing up in an angel beam, they are the reversed faces.
Okay, so they get Sean and take him to, as Steve put it, an Arkham-style prison. He immediately almost
I wanted to say
fucked up.
Blackgate to you during our text exchange, but I wasn't sure you would know what Blackgate was. So I was like,
I do know what Blackgate.
I know, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to like fudge up the reference. So I'm like, let's go with Arkham. He'll know that.
You said Batman prison, actually.
I did because I was like, because I didn't want to say Arkham because that's an insane asylum, not a prison. And I was like, I'll just say Batman prison. Cover both bases here.
Yeah. Also, my head immediately went to Arkham. So Blackgate is the correct. It's
for those who don't know, in the world of Batman, there is the insane asylum, which is technically a prison where all the supervillains go, and then there's Blackgate, which is the main prison where people like Two-Face and the henchmen are sent for the most.
And if you're a Marvel
usually goes
person,
there as well, because Penguin is not mentally ill; he's just like a crime boss or whatever.
But this is insane. This is like Alligator Alcatraz, sort of like. On
They also put a bag on his head for him to go. It's like they don't want anyone to know where the prison is. Like it reminds me of like the Raft from Marvel or something. Like it comes.
God damn it! I was gonna say that.
But even Sean Archer doesn't know where it is. Like,
and there's
and
there's no windows.
It's literally the Raft too, because it's out in the middle of the fucking California Ocean.
It's like the Raft run by a bunch of corrupt.
It's the Rock.
It's the Rock.
Right. So they all have crazy magnet boots. They look like the boots from Mario Brothers movie. He immediately almost fucks it up by forgetting he's Castor. In that weird moment where he like keeps almost saying things that he shouldn't say.
It's so dumb. It's one of those things where you're like, bro, this is you're already fucking this up so badly.
You're the worst undercover cop ever.
That's what I was immediately thinking about all of that. And he starts a prison fight, and the brother clocks him during all of this.
He doesn't start it. He finishes it.
Chris Bowers.
True.
Yeah.
But he clicks into Castor Troy mode during all of this. Like he figures it out. And they get locked down, and he threatens a guard.
And
I think we also can assume that the brother it's like he tracks it and he understands that something's wrong, right? I think this is part of his superpower, right? Like
that's what I got out of it too.
He notices that his brother, and Nick Cage is playing it very different than he had previously played it, right? When he was being Castor Troy, like the real Castor Troy, but then he Sean Archer identifies that, right? And he's like, okay, I gotta like be like crazy and like open my eyes wide and hit the people, but then he starts like crying because of I'm Castor Troy. But I completely agree with you, Jason, that this is more of a Nick Cage movie than a Travolta movie. As much as it is like two leads, but it's Nick Cage I think steals the show, I guess.
Yeah, and the way I feel about it is like if you're going up and it's supposed to be a two lead movie and you're a co-lead with Nick Cage, you're not. The movie is a Nick Cage movie. You just need to admit it to yourself,
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think who was more famous at the time. I would maybe Cage.
I think Cage was like he was on a roll at this point. This is like The Rock, this movie, and then Con Air. This is
Con Air's around this time too.
Yeah,
but he had definitely done The Rock and a few of those other ones. And Travolta was on a comeback before Pulp Fiction in '94.
That's what I was going to say. Was Travolta continuing his comeback when he came back for Pulp Fiction?
This is his comeback. There's
Pulp Fiction '94. Then there's Broken Arrow, which I think is '95 or '96, and then this movie, right, is kind of his next big movie that he stars in. That I can recall.
Yeah, this is the aftermath of him being placed in Pulp Fiction, which is a thing that was a huge resurgence for his life. And then we have someone like Nick Cage, who's basically just been around.
He's just
since the 90s. Yeah, I mean, like it's ups and downs for him, but like he's always been able to make at least a couple.
I think that Nick Cage has been so like he knows what he's doing that he's been in bad movies, but him as an actor, he's been consistently the same through all of it.
But he always he's been in bad movies, but like he'll look at things and be like, "This is interesting to me. I think I'm going to do this, and I don't care. I'll take whatever. I got to pay for my dinosaur bones and all sorts of other stuff." And like he'll just do what he needs to when he needs to, but he'll also within that sort of mythology of what he does, he ends up making things that are amazing almost like accidentally, or like he has faith in something that ends up being really, really good. But he does that for so many things that sometimes stuff is bad, right? Like, and it's just in the wrong hands or the wrong team, but he'll see it and be like, this could be something really special if we do it right, guys. Come on.
I think that Nick Cage
That's my
is
Nick Cage impression, by the way.
I think Nick Cage is a once in a generation, once in a century actor. Like he's a one of one actor. And now that I've seen so much Nick Cage through the show, I don't think he has ever put up a bad performance. Like you just said, I think the movie he's in sometimes is like he might make the bad choice of being in a movie, but he's also one of those actors like a Sam Jackson or a Morgan Freeman where it's like I'll take any work that comes my way and do my absolute best with it. You know?
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't disagree, but at the same time, I think it's different. It is different from something like Sam Jackson, because Sam Jackson is like, I have a price tag, and if you can afford me, I'll come do your thing. And I will give you a good performance every single time.
And Sam Jackson is more of a leading, or not a leading man, but a supporting actor.
Yeah, he is. He can be a leading man, but like he also is like, he doesn't have any reservations about whether or not he'll do something. It's like, if I have the time and you have the money, then absolutely I'll come do your whatever you want.
To the point that we try to do a Nick Cage month with the wheel and the let the people decide. And when we looked at the movies that Sam Jackson is the lead actor in, we either had already done most of them accidentally, or it's like he doesn't really have that.
We didn't do them accidentally. We did them very much on purpose because they're
very
good.
much, yeah, because Shaft rules. But Nick Cage was very easy to do because he always is the leading man in the movies that he's in. I think that John Travolta would be the hardest person to ever do a hey, did you see this one wheel for, because he's very picky about what he's in, it seems like.
Travolta?
Yeah.
Well, Travolta, like in the 90s, like I know we talk about Pulp Fiction being his big like comeback, but in fact he'd been doing like the Let's Who's Talking franchise, right? Like
that's true.
That's
a
good
that also might have done irreversible damage to his career.
I don't think he was considered like as much of a serious actor as much as he was like, he's in movies, right? But people like him because he was on the sitcoms, or he was in Grease, all that, right? But in the 90s, like I'm looking at, so yeah, he does Pulp Fiction, then Get Shorty, then he's got a couple of things like Phenomenon and Michael in here before Face Off hits up.
Right.
Well, I think it was like the public opinion of him had entirely shift from when he was a young man to this point, right? When we say resurgence and we mean like revitalization of career, we more mean like we changed what the public opinion is of him, right? Like his career trajectory had changed so much, and that's why he was in things like Look Who's Talking, because it's like he's not cool anymore. That was the thing, is that like he used to be the cool guy. Oh, look at me, I can dance over here. And then he turned into this kind of like lame joke. And then something like Pulp Fiction comes around and turns it around again, where it's like, oh no, he is cool. Like we can make him be cool and stuff. Let's make him be cool in the movie. Be cool.
Yeah, and I look at Cage's filmography around the same time, and he's doing a lot more serious movies. Like he's doing like Leaving Las Vegas, and like even things like Guarding Tess. But then he's doing, then he does like this string. He does The Rock, then Con Air, then this, right, and all in a row. Those three in a row. Where he's like, look at me, I'm an action star, and like you're like, yeah, I guess you are.
I mean, that's a trilogy right there.
You also have to think about like when you get to a point where you are a hot commodity, you get to choose what you want to be and what you want to do, right? And I guarantee you, Nicolas Cage was like aiming for Superman and stuff. Like the Tim Burton Superman thing was this big project.
That's all around this time too. That's happening.
Yeah. And so he was getting jacked, and people are like, oh, what? And he's like, I want to be in action movies. Like, like I want to jump through the air with 2 guns, 3 guns even. And they're like, 3? That's too many. But that's why he was doing this stuff, because he wanted to do it. But stuff like Leaving Las Vegas, like we did that on this last year, and like one of the best Nicolas Cage movies I think I've ever seen, and like I still think about that movie a lot.
Yeah, and that's what he won the Oscar for.
Yeah, and absolutely deserved. But also just as weird as anything that you'll see in this movie, right? Like a lot of what he's doing in that movie is sort of like his experimental acting, where you're like, he just knows what he should do, and he knows what's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, this next segment sort of shows that, because the next scene we see is him waking up. It's very Joker. You know, he calls
We should
his
have played
guys.
the trapped in a cage intro for this episode. Now that I think about it, I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's true. If I make a playlist out of it, I'll put that in the playlist. But his cronies go and get the doctor, Comfior, and while he's watching,
the video of the surgery.
He's like smoking a cigarette.
He says, "I'm watching some of your greatest hits, Stock."
Yeah,
with these great painkillers, right?
Yeah, shakes them, and like they keep doing this thing where, foot cramp, where the doctor is like being sort of dragged up closer to him, and it like does these quick cuts of a profile version of Nick Cage with no face, being like, "It's really fucking amazing," and you can tell that he's like speaking without. And he's like. He's trying to do something where he's not touching his lips together because I think they told him you have no face when he was recording this audio. So he's like talking like this, like he's got no fucking lips. Like what's his name? The Fire Marshal Bill character, like Jim Carrey's character.
yeah.
And it's working. And like so that when you see the reflection in the glasses, I was expecting like a crazy toothy no lip face. And I was slightly disappointed that
he comes up. He's like, "What do you want? Take one fucking guess."
Yeah, one fucking guess. But it should have been like a crazy like. And we all know that Jim Carrey and Nicolas Cage are like best friends in real life and have known each other since like the beginning of their careers. And like, so I'm like, just call up Jim Carrey and be like, "How do you do that? How do you do that crazy character?"
Right. I heard you were Jim Carrey and Drew Carey were going to be in this movie before us, and then they recast it. They
were like, "I don't know if it makes sense with Drew and Jim. They're both comedic actors. We maybe need to take a different direction with this." When you said that earlier, like I could not stop thinking about like just how different they are physically, and that was making me like.
I couldn't help but think about the poster. But Carrey / Carrey face / off.
And after he does all that too, like we have the moment where the brother questions Castor about his head. The brother asks him about what pills he took, and I thought that was going to give everything up.
Well, it almost did because he had to think for way too long about what it was called. He's like, "Of course I remember those pills. I fed them near myself for."
But the brother gives up that it's going to be at the LA Convention Center, which was a huge moment. And then over to the other stuff that's going on. A visitor shows up. It's Castor as Sean. He lets Sean know that he torched all the evidence that proves he's Sean. Very super villain. And
we need to mention that like when he gives up the LA Convention Center, he once again blows his cover so fucking hard again because he's like, "You're goddamn pathetic," and like leaves him, and you're like,
he thinks the mission's over.
Chill.
He thinks the mission's over and whatever.
He's like, "I just need to get pulled out of here. Yeah, I gotta call up CC Pounder and just leave now." Like, no.
But I think that the scene where the reveal of like the door opens and it's Travolta reading the paper, I think that's my favorite scene in the movie because just how he's like, "Ooh, you're good looking," right? And like even the part where he's like, "Oh, and I have a lonely wife to fuck. I maybe make love to." Oh.
Yeah. There is like also this weird thing that like earlier in the movie when John Travolta curses at him, he says like, "Watch your mouth." And then when he's in the prison and the guy curses at him, he repeats that. He says like, "Watch your mouth." And he's using the lines that he's picked up from battling him. But I thought there was going to be like a weird thing where Nick Cage's character, like he curses like a sailor, but then anytime anyone swears at him, like he doesn't like it. Cause like, like narcissists, like if anytime any kind of like tension or oppression comes down upon them, they snap. I thought that was going to be a thing. It isn't at all. It's used twice, and you're like, "Oh, I thought there was going to be an interesting dynamic here." Apparently not.
Do as I say, don't as I do. But
yeah.
Exactly. Castor on the outside does meet up with Eve, the wife, and he acts like a shitbag to the wife.
He almost drives like by the house
to the daughter as well. He walks up to the other room and fucking. She's like in her underwear, and he's like, reaches over for the cigarette. It's fucking all very gross. But at the office, Castor as Sean gets dressed down by the chief or it's like consigliere, but he's got some name. We had this with a couple of the other John Woo movies where principal inspector or whatever. Is they never say like the chief of police or whatever.
Well, he's like the director of the FBI or something. He's
Yeah.
like
You mean
Director.
Sean Archer's boss there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the deputy director or something.
yeah, he's not like the head of the FBI, but he's like up. He's above him, and they all work for the FBI. So like,
Yeah, he's not Cash Patel level. He's like
no, yeah.
Yeah.
Cash Patel comes in with his cross-eyed and being
more like Dan.
"What the hell are you doing?" It's like, fucking-
But he tells Castor as Sean tells his brother that he basically has to confess because he wants to go clean and he wants him to confess where the bomb is so he can be a hero. So then there's the scene where they find the bomb. They can't disarm it, but then Castor as Sean walks in. So like, I'm gonna disarm this. He does. And then he does a little dance and takes it down. Sean as Castor, though, sees all of this from prison, and he celebrates with his team. And there was the one woman asking about the procedure. Goes home and gives his wife
the stick removed from his butt. You mean? Is that?
yeah. Sean.
That's Margaret Chow, everyone. She's a very funny stand-up comedian and has been around for a long time.
That's where I recognized her from. That's crazy. She was so big at this time. She had her own sitcom during.
Yeah,
this
they
era.
populate this movie with a lot of people that were like not like usually they don't do that. Like every character is someone that you recognize from something and something big within this time frame. Like there's the other cop, the guy who gets shot in the head, who's like, "Why are you so upset? It's just fuck boy Castor, Troy's brother or whatever," and he gets shot in the head. That guy's he's a character actor that's in a million things, but like he's in things. Yeah, he's in like American Psycho. He plays like the
FBI agent who gets shot in the head. Yeah, he's also on Silicon Valley as the the
super genius guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, the point that I'm saying is like there's no small roles as they say in movies, but in this case, it's like even the small roles are filled by people that you're like, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy. Like they're everybody's from something.
That seems like a John Woo thing too. Like I think that he wants Mission Impossible 2 had that, like where you recognize everybody in the whole movie.
But like a lot of directors do that. I kind of like and respect that, where it's like, if you're high enough in terms of respectability or desirability as a director, and like even a tiny role can be filled by anybody, and you have in your mind like it would be so great if I could get this person to just cameo as this role, and like my brain goes to Tarantino just because we've been talking about Sam Jackson and Travolta so much that I'm like thinking about it. But like, you think about something like The Hateful Eight, where like Channing Tatum shows up for the last 10 minutes of this movie that like, and you don't know he's going to be there, but like his name is thrown at you right at the beginning and you're like, Channing Tatum's in this? Like what the fuck? I didn't know he was in this movie.
That's what I'm saying about opening credits and seeing Calm Fjord, but also why I don't look up, like while I'm watching a movie, I don't look up an IMDb because I don't want to get spoiled on like actors that are going to show up, and not because of like plot stuff, just because I want to be surprised by people being in that.
Sometimes I'm watching a show like on Amazon or on Prime, right? And you pause it, it will tell you all the actors in it. But sometimes like that can be like a spoiler for who's about to walk into the scene.
Or when you have like subtitles on sometimes. Like
and it just gives up.
Like it'll be like a character is like in the dark or something, and then like you'll hear a voice and you don't know who it is yet, and it's supposed to be a dramatic reveal, but then it'll be like, Frankenstein. You're like, wait, Frankenstein shows up? Oh man, who would have known in this movie entitled Frankenstein that Frankenstein was going to come out of the shadows?
But Castor as Sean goes home, he gives Eve, the wife of Sean Archer, a very lovely lobster dinner. He kisses her, rubs her feet. She's pissed off though. And
Dave wants to say something, Jason.
I just want to establish something. I know this is a movie where we're suspending all disbelief, but we established later on when it's the white Eve and Nick Cage in the hospital that she's a vegetarian. That chipped her tooth on a piece of rock. But she seems to have eaten this lobster dinner. That
people can change, Dave.
But this could have been a giveaway.
Listen, my partner.
Like, are you my real husband? Or
Why are you serving me lobster, the thing that you know I'm allergic to? Like, she's allergic to shellfish.
He specifically says, I took her on a surf and turf date.
He does. Yeah, he does.
You know,
yeah.
so,
And then she ate bread
Literally,
the whole
that's
time.
crazy. What a crazy fucking catch! Because the lobster thing, they show the lobster when they crawl across the table.
That's hilarious.
That's
I did
really
not think about
crazy.
that.
right. we
But
don't
my
see the
point
meat
stands,
meal,
people can
but-
change because, like, currently I have a partner who's like, you know, vegetarian, but they constantly are like, should I eat the shrimp? Should I eat the shrimp? And I'm like, do you want to? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, then eat it. It's like, but I can't. It's this thing where I'm like, one day they're just gonna do it. They're gonna eat the shrimp.
I don't. Yeah, like the Steve Shives from like the YouTuber guy. He's like I'm a vegetarian 6 days a week, but on the 7th day I go meat. So
Oh shit!
All right.
I have to step away for 2 seconds, but the next
right.
scene is the prison fight.
The
So
prison
you guys
fight.
talk
Well,
about it.
Like
yeah,
the
because
escape.
this is like the other fourth action, I guess, a piece that we didn't really touch on.
Yeah, this
as
is
much.
maybe the fourth in terms of scale, because there are a couple of other like miniature battles here and there, but yeah, this one was cool. But again, like my mind, every time you go back to this prison, I'm like, this prison is crazy. Like they have like the pits and stuff where people are
the
walking
3 strikes. Like, you have that's 3 strikes for you, Ivanov, or whatever, and then they're
where you're
giving them
going.
lobotomies or like electroshock therapy. It's like the only time you can get the boots off is when they fry your brain in this like dungeon of horrors. I'm like, this is the U.S. government. Like, well, I guess it's kind of plausible more than ever now, but but it's kind of like looking back on it. I'm like, what is this? Like, well, these are terrorists, so like any kind of civil liberties are not right. But then when Nick Cage starts that fight, in order to be taken off, right, when he asks for the cigarette
fight,
sorry, he's like, okay, like I had something useful to say here about this too, but okay, I guess when he's getting beat by the guards, but before they drag him off. And then like that other guy, like that prisoner guy that he's asking for the advice, he goes, that's not right.
Yeah, Thomas Jane.
I'm like, that's not right. Oh yeah, that's Thomas Jane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, that's not right. Like, the fact that you're already being like put in this prison with these crazy magnetic
your boots, like nothing about this is right. But also like it gives you that momentum of like, oh, they're gonna start a prison riot for him to escape, right? And
right
to a degree he sort of does, but not really. But like I thought that was what the play was, right? Like I thought it was going to be a full prison riot and that's how he was going to get out,
Yeah, but they do this good job of like getting you on the side of not just you're already on the side of Archer as Nick Cage, right?
Because he's an innocent man. Yeah,
but like now I'm on the side of all the prisoners and I hate the cops, right?
Yeah.
And like
this is fascism incarnate right here. We're watching people, and not only are the cops kind of in this particular prison bad, but they're dressed like Nazis, they act like Nazis, and they take pleasure in the pain and suffering that they're causing to people, hoping to see fights and
right,
deliberately
like,
fights
I
go
stopped
on.
the fights, not you,
Yeah.
right? And all that
Exactly,
stuff.
yeah.
And you're like I get that these are like the worst criminals, I guess, but like this is where you go. Like this is what 1997 thought was okay.
This is also where they send the worst guards. They're like, this guard he's been in trouble at this prison for beating up prisoners, and it's like, all right, send him to the floaty island.
Because remember, Nick Cage says, "Look,
show.
I'm going to get you fired for what you're doing here." Like, well, I guess does he die though? Does John Carroll Lynch die in that riot? Or maybe he does. A lot of them die.
I mean, I don't think that you see him die, but like at the same time, if he did, whatever, good. But at the same time, like I do think it's funny that he's like, "I'll get you fired," because that's an Archer thing, right? Like you're going to be fired tomorrow. By the way, for fucking me up, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they puke on themselves, like the Russian dude that he fights, like he gets barf all over him because he's got his brain fried or whatever. I thought there was going to be something more interesting with the cigarette, but like it was literally just to get taken away.
To get taken away. And his whole plan, I know we're again suspending disbelief and this is all crazy and it's just a movie, but he's like, my plan is I'm going to be dragged off to get my brains fried, but luckily that Russian guy will be there, and then I'll tell him I didn't have a sex sandwich with his wife and sister. That will get him on my side right away, just in time because there's also it all depends on Nick Cage having to burn that guard's arm with the cigarette. Also, that guy having to be like able to get to his feet just in time.
Also, did you catch that? You hear the Wilhelm scream, like the Wilhelm scream 2 in there at one point?
No, I don't think I caught that. But
also, thank you for
I caught it.
Yeah, thank you for verifying also that it was Thomas Jane, because it was driving me nuts. Like that guy looks so fucking familiar. Who it, and of course
I don't know if he's credited or like at least on IMDb, not on the.
But he's kind of like Archer.
Listen, I'm very attracted to Thomas Jane. So anytime he pops
I know he's
up,
a beautiful man.
Oh, it's the Jane Man.
Allegedly,
he's the new McCoy on Strange New Worlds next season. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in anything in a million years. That's crazy.
I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, because he's talked about eating people.
I think you're thinking of Army Hammer.
I am thinking of Army Hammer. Thomas Jane's fine. Never mind. My bad.
Thomas Jane hasn't eaten anyone.
He's in that realm of guys that all look the same. He's one of those 4 guys that all look the same. Like who's the guy that was in Boba Fett? The guy that was on The Mandalorian.
I don't know.
The guy at the town when they're going to take out that big monster.
Oh, Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant, and then the other guy that looks like Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, I don't remember.
Hey Google, who's the guy that looks like Timothy Oliphant?
His name is Poopy McPoofy Poof.
They say Timothy Oliphant and Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel. Okay.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yes,
Google, stop! Stop!
Stop telling us who looks alike.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Anyway, what a great.
That should be the face off. It should be Josh Duhamel and.
Oh my god!
Movie ever. Yeah, no one could tell the difference. They're like, wait, what?
There's that joke in The Office where Timothy Oliphant shows up and they're like, that guy looks like Josh Duhamel, and he's like,
he looks like Josh Duhamel. Yeah. Anyway. Moving on. He
overloads the system.
Yeah. Honestly, I found this Prison Break to be it's not that it was underwhelming, it's just that it was just not as memorable as the other action sequences in this movie that my brain didn't really store it all that well. It was just kind of like, oh, he's getting out, because nothing crazy happens. And like I was saying before, the way that he was taken away and the way that Thomas Jane is like, this isn't right. I thought that it was going to be a thing where like the entire prison is going to rise up against it. He's going to get out and there's going to be all these prisoners like, yeah, with their throwing their magnet boots into the ocean or something. Like,
I was legitimately surprised that they were on an island, because I didn't remember it, but also they don't telegraph it at all. So when he goes up, he finally gets out.
For all we knew, they were going to be on the fucking moon. Like there's no windows. It's like completely
That's what I'm saying. Like when he goes up the stairs and he was finally free, I actually had like a moment where I was like, breathe a sigh of relief. And to be it revealed on a like a barge or a floating island or whatever,
it doesn't smell like 40,000 magnet boots and farts, cigarettes.
I was actually like, holy shit, what's he gonna do now? And what he ends up doing is basically fist fighting a helicopter with a fucking machine gun on it, which it was a crazy action sequence. I really enjoyed the action sequence, but the thing is like he could have jumped at any time, and finally he decides to jump, and then it just goes back to Archer being like,
"Are you telling me that this movie made an odd decision?" Is that what you're saying?
He makes it. I'm like, okay, so he jumped off this thing, and then he swam for like miles and miles to the shore
with his magnet boots on.
No, he didn't have his magnet boots on. That was my favorite part about the whole riot, is like he has no shoes on for the whole thing, and he's jumping on steel grates and whatever. But
well, they have a switch. They can switch it on and off for some reason.
They can turn it on and off.
But they already took his magnet boots off because when they took him to get his brain fried, right? That was
I assume if they fry their brains when they're wearing the magnet boots, the electricity will go into the ground and fuck up their magnet system.
Which is such a ham-fisted superhero thing too, because as soon as he gets that cigarette, I was like, and then we see him get dragged in there. I was like, oh, he just needed to get the boots off, and now he can fist fight his way out of this predicament. I guess he starts the prison riot and everything that you guys already talked about. But it's insane to me that his inclination was like, as long as I can get these boots off, I can get out of here. And then he just does. Like, it's not even an issue.
Yeah, we were talking about how there's a lot of convenient things that are happening as well for his escape. Because like, I don't think his escape plan was predicated upon the fact that that guy would also be there to help him fight to get out. But the fact that he was there helped him in his task.
I like that you guys mentioned too that like, the Castor allegedly had, or did not allegedly, but did have a threesome with his sister and wife. And as he's just 2 seconds later is like, that's fine. You helped me get to this point and to escape.
But he's like, I didn't do that. All that's not true. Which is Sean Archer didn't do those things, so he could. He's not lying about it. But
it's true.
I heard you guys talk about all that.
But then then like that part where he's like trying to hold him off the edge. Remember, he's like, he falls. He's like, no,
the gun, like he's sliding off the gun, and the gun's sliding out of his hand, and he falls like 9 feet, even though he was already shot at that point,
and electrified in the brain. But
and also his brain was completely.
Yeah, he's talking like a caveman at this point, being like, "Escape, go!" You're like,
"Go, Ryan."
Magnet, boot, hurt, feet. You're like, yeah, they're uncomfortable. That's for sure.
It immediately cuts to a really disheartening moment where Eve is leaving to go to the son's grave because it's his birthday, and fucking Castor Sean is forgotten completely, or never knew really, because he doesn't know the logistics of everything. And she's kind of like, we have to go to our son's grave to wish him,
a happy death day or whatever.
And it's so fucked up.
Do they go on his birthday or the anniversary?
It's his birthday.
Because it's his birthday for like the rest of the movie. It's what I kind of gleaned from this.
Yeah. And Travolta, he's like, oh yeah, they're there, dear, but he obviously doesn't care because he's a villain.
I do agree that when
it's kind of like, so hold on, I just want to make a point. Like in a vampire movie, when a person becomes a vampire and it's like their soul is gone, that's kind of what it feels like in this movie. Is like he comes back as like he's hornier, he's like sexier, and he doesn't give a shit about anything, and all he wants is to like advance his own. It's almost like he gets transformed into a vampire, and he's playing.
That's a really good observation, actually.
Yeah,
not enough people are talking about how good an observation that is. I think
I'm talking about it. It's pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. Really, thank you.
That's apt as hell. Like it's like we see the hero who is completely just.
I've been on like heavy vampire stuff lately. I watched Sinners not that long ago, and I'm like, is this the greatest vampire movie I've seen in the last like 20 years of my life?
I'm glad that it has 18 Oscar nominations or whatever.
Yeah.
I need to see that. It's
so fucking good.
I was resisting.
I'm just gonna say to Dave, like, it's not what you're expecting. It's completely different than what you're expecting.
I mean, it's exactly what I expected. So, but I mean, at the same time, that's not a bad thing. I was resistant at first because everybody was saying how good it was and telling me to watch it. And I was like, don't tell me what to do. I'll watch it when I'm good and ready. God damn it. And then I watched it and I was like, I should have watched it earlier. Because I did always want to watch it, but I waited for it to go on streaming and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to rent it. I'll wait. Because I like the director and I like a lot of the actors in it. Actually, I mean, I'll say that like I wasn't as familiar with the guy who plays like the Irish guy. I can't remember what his name is, but he was in the new 28 Years Later movie.
I know him from Skins. He plays Huck in Skins, and I didn't recognize him in Sinners, but then I put those two roles together, and I was like, perfect. He's such a good.
But yeah, he's good in that movie, and I was like, everything about it, and like even since the day I watched it till now, I'm like, my brain is replaying it in my mind, and I'm like, oh man, I maybe need to watch it again, or maybe we need to have a conversation about it on the podcast just so I can kind of get my thoughts out. But it's good. It's very good. Deserved of 18 Oscar nominations.
And I love vampire stuff, so if it's a good vampire movie, I'll be in for it. So.
Oh, I got a new face off. That actor and Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things and Fantastic Four is two face off boys, but it's British. It's the British version.
Or Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan and Michael Jordan.
Oh. Michael B. Jordan.
Which is crazy because Michael B. Jordan plays the antithesis to Black Panther in the Black Panther movie, even though they're two different actors.
That's
It's-
true.
They're
Yeah.
the same. They're the
But
same
also in
story.
Sinners, Michael B. Jordan plays twins. That's why
Yeah,
that was the joke that I.
No, I get it. And the joke that I'm making is that he basically plays twins in Black Panther.
That's not a joke. That's a fact.
They're two different
That's
people.
what happened.
They're playing the same. They're playing the same hero.
I was making a joke. You were stating a fact. So
Just spitting facts, brother.
yeah, just facing off against everything. You should watch it, Dave. You should watch it. It's very.
I will. definitely.
Everything I know about you, Dave, you would like. Sinners.
You've convinced
So
me.
fucking good.
I'm here. I'm here for it. Yeah.
One of the things
That's
that
what
I will
changed
say
it.
about it is I saw this TikTok recently and I was like, that is an amazing point. And I'm going to reiterate the point now, but I don't remember who the guy was. So I feel bad for not giving him credit for this point that he made. But the interesting part about Sinners is that you watch the first 45 minutes of it or so before the horror element is introduced, and everything that they've established and developed through character and interactions between them and the story that they're slowly building, you would be interested in watching that movie progress without the horror element being introduced, whether or not it showed up. So like this vampire thing is dumped into an already interesting story, and you'd be happy to watch that go where it goes naturally without the intervention of the horror element. And I was like, that's so true, because you're so invested in all these characters, and then all of a sudden their story gets interrupted by like a crazy fucking vampire thing. You're like, oh fuck.
Right. Well, that sounds like From Dusk Till Dawn.
It's
right?
exactly from Dusk Till Dawn.
It's very Dusk Till Dawn. His name is Jack O'Connell. Is the name of the actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and their nicknames, the two characters are named Dusk and Dawn. No, I'm just kidding. They're named Smoke and Stack, I think, but yeah, it might as well. Yeah.
True.
Nice. Perfect.
Anyway,
So,
it's a good movie.
Where
Let's
are we
get
in
back to this
in
one. Yeah.
movie? Oh yeah, he turned his beeper off to go to the dead son's grave, and then that's what coincides with the escape.
At work, the police squad telecaster as Sean that Sean as Caster died, and his body was not recovered. So Caster's looking around. He calls his wife. She doesn't believe him. Obviously, he calls Sean. The face-off is face-offing. Is a note that I wrote here.
It is.
So Sean as Caster goes to see the sister's brother, bald guy. Goes to see the bald guy from before. He doesn't know. So
His
the
character's name is Alec Bald Guy.
Alec Bald Guy. So
Yeah.
what's interesting here is it seemed like Sean Archer, who's being played by Caster at this point, had told everybody. But when he goes to this house, I had that moment of like, oh, he didn't tell his like closest confidants, like his crew. And he goes in there and he is like, he immediately is able to like infiltrate by being like, I'm back from the dead. Let's do drugs. They give him his drug box, which I thought was funny. And then also he roofies him like in the drink, but I guess it's ecstasy or something because he starts fucking tripping balls.
He doesn't roofie him. They know he puts it in there because he's like,
I know he's
like,
looking directly at it.
Yeah, he does. I guess he doesn't want to make him freak out that it's not.
Yeah,
him.
and he also puts it in his own drink. It's like they're doing it. They're just doing drugs together.
I know, I agree with you, but like the way that it's framed, I was like, oh, are they drugging him? Oh, they aren't. I just thought it was a funny little moment that anyway.
Like nobody has any reason to believe that he's actually shot Archer wearing Castor Troy's face.
No,
that
there's
is the case, but no one has any reason to believe that.
They don't know that a face-off situation has happened yet, guys. But this is also like one of the more interesting moments in the movie to me. It's very compelling. It's very weird, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's showing that these people, as twisted and villainous as they are actually like real people, and they care about each other, and they have an interpersonal relationship that is loving and caring for one another. They're not like cartoonish Batman villains where like, you know, like one of the goons says the wrong thing and then Joker shoots him or whatever, like Captain Hook, where he's like throwing guys to the crocodiles for fun. It's like they're just like a team of people who break the law for a living.
But it is interesting how he wins them over. Like he literally is like he says his son's birth date, and they're like, he's like, isn't that fucking crazy that's the password for the bomb? And they're like, oh yeah. And I really like that.
It's not the password for the bomb; it's the password for his home security system.
But
home security.
After this scene and also the prison scene, like you're like, I can see why these criminals hate the cops because the cops just terrorize them, right? And I think that's part of what he's like, like they have their own. Yeah, she's got a kid, and she's like, if you're here, I'm gonna get my kid taken away from me, and da da da. And like when they get attacked, how you're kind of on their side, like
it's really cool. Yeah, this is a John Woo thing again, Dave, as well. I know you're not as familiar with the John Woo formula, but he always does a thing where you get to infiltrate the life of the other person that is meant to be the villain for a little while, and not necessarily understand them as a character, but understand their world and care for it to a degree. And he does it pretty well. Like is sort of. It is sort of like boilerplate in a lot of ways, but at the same time, like it makes you care about these characters that you otherwise don't up until this point. You don't care about Bald Guy. You don't care about his sister. You don't care about any of them. But then after this interaction between them all, and just like little things like the bald guy winking to the little kid, he's his uncle, and you see that, and you're like, that's all you need to know that he probably has a loving relationship with that kid. Like they trust.
I think of the movies we've done. Mission Impossible 2 does it the worst. Like I never really felt like that villain had that moment of like, oh, let's see it from his point of view. But the rest of the movies we've done have all felt like we do get
I think that Mission Impossible tried to do it and failed, and that might have just been that actor was not kind of up to snuff for the material.
I want to get out of here so I can play Wolverine. What? Yeah. Give my part away?
Shit. Yeah.
But there's also something really important that happens during this sequence, guys.
That's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
That picture is that picture there is when Doc Brown did a face-off situation with me. I had Christopher Lloyd's face for 72 hours. It was wild. Yeah. I was running around being like,
it's apt. At 1 hour 22, he literally says, I'd like to take his face off. But it doesn't stop there. They back it, they keep like I said earlier in this.
He goes like this. I want to take his face
off.
You want to take his face off, and they're like, no more drugs for that, man. He can't.
Yeah,
he's done.
He's take his face.
Why does he keep looking at the camera? There's no camera in here. It's like face off in this movie. I thought that was great, but they also say it several times more, and he starts tripping balls. Sasha shows up. She sees he's alive. I thought you were dead, is what she says.
And then she says, what do you want me to suck your tongue or some shit?
Yeah.
That's where Jason was like, they mentioned it 100 times in this movie. Everybody must know about his tongue suck fetish.
Everybody's talking about it. Sean is Castor losing his mind on the phone about Castra's. Sean, guess what happens here, friends? A convicted rapist shows up for a minute to.
Danny Masterson was very typecast.
But like
this is, I messaged Jason while I was watching the movie, and I said, "Oh, Danny Masterson shows up to play himself in a movie."
And I hadn't caught up to this point in the movie yet. Like in my view, I watched it in 2 sittings, and I said "fuck," and then I had to clarify that I wasn't saying "fuck" as in "fuck you spoiled that he showed up." I was clarifying that. Fuck.
Yeah, I think my response to your whole rant there was "LOL."
Yeah,
I don't fucking care,
which is fair. Yeah. But anyway, he gets his ass beat by Sean as Castor.
By Castor Troy.
Yeah, which is great.
It's I think he also breaks his arm or something. Whatever. Him showing up in movies now is like you immediately your stomach turns and you go, "Oh God."
We can move directly on from that. That's when we got the line where he's like, dress up as Halloween and all the ghouls come out, or little ghouls will try to get in your pants. And then he mentions the brother dying and how she's hiding behind another face and how you have to hide behind that face to hide behind the pain. And I was like, oh my God, right on the nose, guys. And then he gives her some protection. Do you guys remember what the protection was? I thought it was going to be a condom, but it's not a condom. What was the protection, guys?
Butterfly knife. So
Yeah, I don't think there was a singular moment where when he said protection, I thought that he was talking about condoms.
Really?
He's a madman who murders people. He's talking
I
about
thought it was-
some sort of deadly weapon.
Okay, that's fair. He's the.
But he
Joker.
seems to have like he's not at least. I guess Castor Troy not like a well. He definitely grabs women and he definitely does things.
Yeah, he goes honk honk and oh, he's one of those guys. He's a cartoon.
But he still looks down at Danny Masterson as ugh.
Yeah, he's like you fucker.
Yeah.
I
It's
do
like, next
like
time.
that. Like we skipped over it briefly earlier, but like he also knows enough about Archer's life that like he doesn't know the details as intimately, but he knows the details enough. Because when he goes to talk to her the first time and steal the cigarettes, he calls her. He's like,
Janie.
"What's wrong with you, Janie?" And she's like, "Did you say
Yeah.
Janie?" And he's like, he sees a pillow with her name on it. He goes, "I said Jamie."
I totally said Jamie.
Yeah, he says, Jamie, you misheard me.
Yeah.
He gaslights her. It's
Now
so
give me your
fucking good.
cigarettes. Yeah.
Which I,
While
since
I
don't
smell
smoke.
you. Yeah, it's fucking weird. But like he does know enough, right? Like he's been studying him, maybe not as like boardy as like as John Travolta has in the other direction, but like he still knows what he needs to know, right?
Mhm.
Which is cool and interesting, and it is sort of like a two sides of a coin situation. And I do like this moment where like he's standing up for Archer's daughter in a way that like he doesn't have to do that if he doesn't want to. He's like,
he could have ignored it, yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's one of those situations where you're like, he's a monster, but is he like that much of a monster? No, he steps in and he protects her, and he's like, you should really protect yourself and get to know the world and what it is full of, which is gross perverts, and here's a knife to protect yourself from them.
Right. And you get the impression that like Castor Troy does care about his brother, and
Yeah.
True.
maybe well, I guess he doesn't care about these friends of his, like Gina Gershon and the brother, because he kills them basically. Or he gets
Yeah.
them killed.
Where like I weirdly like I kept thinking about this during the movie, and it's a bad comparison, but it's like a comparison that my brain fully understands, which is like Castor is interesting and funny, and like he's kind of cool in a way that, but like you don't agree with the stuff that he does or he believes, but you kind of like him because he's charismatic. And I kept equating him to Chucky in my mind, the killer doll. He's got like a lot of Chucky energy.
Well,
and,
yeah.
all
I think
the
the Joker is a good comparison too. Where
the
he's
Joker is a good comparison as well, but I feel like it's closer to Chucky to me than the Joker, because he's not like a pure agent of chaos in the way that the Joker is, whereas Chucky is like, he likes doing the things that he does, but he'll also protect the things that he believes in, whereas the Joker doesn't.
We don't learn that until way later in the movie, so I actually like your comparison. When we learn more that he's got kind of like a killer with a heart of gold thing, I like that actually. I can see the Chucky elements that you're talking about for sure.
Yeah, it's more like the performative elements of when he's talking to people. It seems like he practiced that. But like did he practice that in a mirror at some point where he's like, let me just tell you about this for a second.
I'm gonna go and kill this guy. Sean is Castor and Sasha have that moment where he kind of pulls her, she jumps on him, she's like, you like to suck the tongue. And we also see out the window that the brother is watching all of this sort of happen.
It is weird that he brought him with them. Like,
yeah,
that the FBI allowed that as well. Be like, yeah, I guess we can bring him to like to the breaching moment.
Is like, but he doesn't just tell them, and then he calls up. He's like, I call John Travolta and tell him what's up, and
then he's already there, and then they are there like within, I don't know, maybe.
And they just go in shooting. There's no like come out with your hands up. There's none of that, right? It's like like even the FBI agent will call this like this.
Well, it's because in their mind they've already stopped the bomb from going off, so they just need to kill him or capture him, and it's like,
So right before all that, though, it's revealed that Sasha has a son. And also the son is Castor's son.
And also the son is Bam Bam from the Flintstones movie.
I like at the very end of the movie when it's like he goes, I'm Michael. He says it in such a fucking weird.
I was expecting him to go, bam, bam, bam.
Adam, Michael was the son that died. But but I guess the other thing is that these kids look very much alike. They're not the same.
A little bit, yeah. Imagine he did rename him. That would be fucked up. He's like,
You're Michael now.
I also named him Michael. It's like, what was his real name? Who gives a shit?
Doesn't matter.
And then they all three of them put their hands on his face at once and drag. He's like,
Stop touching my face.
Yeah. What the fuck?
But the police show up here. Sean as Castor has a meltdown a little bit, and the police attack. There's a giant shootout. Castor as Sean is overseeing the invasion. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, like the song from Wizard of Oz, plays during the shootout, which I thought was very John Woo. And it was kind of a good backdrop song to play during this.
I kind of wish it was playing like way over the top and like not as subdued as it was. Because like as soon as you do something like that in a movie, that's your signal to just like, now it's a music video. We can play this song and have crazy action happening to a beat, which is like, I like when that happens in movies. And, you know, like when James Gunn does it, I'm always like, good. Yes, this is a good thing. We've turned this moment into a music video. And I like to see it, but like, they didn't really do that here. It cuts away and there's a lot of violence, and then it cuts back and you're like, oh, where I call the twinkle pops up, blah, 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 blah. And then it like cuts over to people just shooting each other. I would have preferred it to just be carrying through, you know.
It just made me also like the whole sequence makes me hate the cops even more, the FBI, because like there's a kid here, and all you guys are doing are shooting your as many bullets into this apartment as you can, like indiscriminately.
It was interesting to me that when Sasha's carrying the kid down, he like she's continuously being like, never pick a gun up, guns are not for you, don't touch a gun, but he like grabs the gun. And the police officer is like, what the fuck? And then Sasha fucking kicks him in the dick or whatever. And this is after she's already standing in a room with an AK, just like,
yeah,
which great.
It's
a great
also,
shootout sequence.
It is great. I think this is probably my favorite action sequence in the movie, just in terms of like visual interest for me, where I'm like, it's not, you know, a giant plane, because like the plane going down is cool, but like I like when they have intricate sets and glass being shattered and squibs going out. Like squibs are my favorite thing in movies. I've said this a million times. When you have a good squib, your letter grade goes up humongous rates. But I couldn't really fully understand the logic behind Castor, because his brother's in there. His son is in there. I don't know if he really knows that that's his son yet or not. I guess not, because she reveals it in that moment. But right. All of his friends and family are in there. And he is the one orchestrating this attack, right? That's why the police are being so violent. It's because he's ordering it. He's the head of it. Yeah. So, you know, I understand what you're saying. It makes me hate them even more, but it's like they're being led by him. Like,
and they established that like when he kills the boss the next day, the boss would not have done that. But this is, you know, but they also followed the orders.
That's another thing where I'm like, can you make it look like a heart attack if you just punch them in the heart? Like, is that possible?
Don't do an autopsy. We'll
get to that in a second. I think he was having a heart attack anyway.
He was definitely having one, and he noticed it, and he's like, this is my chance to heart punch this fucker.
The thing that stuck out to me was, why did the bald guy, brother of Sasha, fucking, as he gets shot in the head and goes down, but as he's going down, he fully kisses her on the lips in a really
I was like, wait, right? I thought they were brother and sister. I literally watched it tonight and go, why do they kiss like that at the end? And it's Archer. Well, it's not Archer. It's Troy as Archer.
Yeah, he kills him, man.
Who shoots his friend in the back of the neck. You know?
When she kept saying that was her brother, like, because even when they leave the interrogation earlier on, he's got her in like this big kind of like, because he's very tall, right? He's got her in this like sort of like almost, it's not a headlock, but it's like a love lock, or like how you would hold someone that, and he kisses her on her head. So you're like, or he's whispering very closely into his ear. So you're like, oh, this is some sort of weird abusive relationship or whatever. But then you find out that that's her brother. And then, yeah, the smooches and stuff. And you're like, I don't know, maybe they're Italian or some shit.
That's it. That's totally Italian.
Yeah.
They would.
They're either Italian or they're Lannisters, or they're, Targaryens or whatever.
Right. But out of this, even though they kiss each other right on the lips, he dies, and then we get our second.
Wait. Oh wait. Are you talking about bald guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets shot in the neck.
Right.
Yeah.
But
you
as
said
he's
head.
dying, as he goes down, he grabs her and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'll do better next time." And then he kisses her like on the lips in a really awkward, like weird way. Like
I thought
it was just
wait, what the fuck? I remember him falling and he's talking to Castor and he's like
that happens the next moment, like right after that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
'Cause
Yeah,
after-
he's holding
He's holding because she
because
doesn't see this, right? And then when she leaves, he's like, then he just starts bleeding out, and he's like, "Hey, we had some good times, right?" And you feel bad when he dies, right? Like you're like,
Yeah, maybe John
liked
Woo
that
kisses his
character.
family on the lips, like he probably kisses his dad on the lips when he leaves or whatever. That's
honestly,
the kind of guy John
that's
Woo
all
is.
I could. That's all I could think about it. Like maybe it is just when I was growing up.
Yeah, I
kissed
don't know.
my
Some people
parents on
kiss
the
their
lips.
family on the lips, but
some
like
people
I
do
don't-
that.
I don't
but
do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Like in the '90s, it wasn't as weird. I think it still is. I don't know. I
Fair
lived through the '90s.
I don't even like when my family members hug me when they
I don't like it when my family members look at me. Get out of
It's
here with
true.
your eyes.
contact. That's so 1999.
But we do get the 1v1 for the second time. This is this sequence where we get the mirror back and forth where they see
Yeah.
each other.
Which I do like. Like it is a very John Woo, again, comic booky, weird. It's something that's like far more artistic than the rest of this movie needs. But it's like one of those things where like John Woo's like he probably, as he was conceptualizing everything for this movie, is like, and then there's a mirror, and they're on either side of the mirror, and they're both looking at reflections of themselves. And like it is,
honestly,
it is good. Like I like it.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
We look at it like a very ham-fisted, like on the nose thing, but I think it's honestly like I don't think people had seen something like that at the time.
They hate each other and they are wearing
Yeah.
each other's faces and they're looking in the mirror. Like that's cool. That's kind of cool, you know.
I
Like
think it's
what?
pretty cool.
You know.
My favorite line is like, I don't know if I hate more your face or your body.
I hate your
I
time.
I literally had this crisis of faith about that scene because I was like, this is so dumb. But then I was like, this is filmmaking 101. Like, what a cool scene he got to create and shoot and have everybody like look into themselves about. We're only looking at it in a goofy way now because we have 30 years of film
No.
behind it.
No.
Do you think it? Do you
No,
think
it was goofy at the
you
time,
think-
Jason. It is not.
you
It was not a profound moment in 1997 for them
Okay.
to be on the.
I
other side.
think our
that's the
parents
first aspect.
wouldn't have felt that was goofy, but I think
Because our
I-
parents
I
are,
agree with
are
you, Dave.
silly and they don't do a fucking movie discussion every Thursday night. That's the thing. It's like our parents would just rent whatever was popular from Blockbuster. That's
Right.
different.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
What-
kind of how you're looking, what lens you're looking at it through. But
I will say that it is cool. I do like it. Like it's not terrible, but it's not like profound art. It's just like
no,
it's a cool moment in a big actiony movie that is like, oh look, they're looking at each other in the mirror and they hate each other and they're literally shooting at the face that they hate and then the other person's on the other side. That's cool and I like it, but it's not like fucking this is not art, you know. It's like it's just like schlocky
I
fun
saw
stuff.
it. I saw it as a bit of art.
it's a bit of art. It's not high art, I guess, to Steven's point.
It's it's about as much art as him throwing a bunch of pigeons around at the end of the movie as well. Like if like
get the
That's
seagulls.
yeah.
That's a good, yeah. Get the seagulls. That's actually a really good way to put it. Like if you've seen John Woo movies and you're like waiting for the doves the whole time, then in the same way, this
Yeah,
is-
it's
because
slightly
the doves
it is
are like
slightly
more of a
poetic.
calling card, even at this point in his directing career. But I really like.
But he also
really-
didn't make Face Off to be an artistic film. Like you cannot like this is not an artistic film.
It's true, and what I'll say to that too is this movie of the 5 movies we've now done of John Woo, this is the least artistic John Woo movie we've done. out of
Okay.
all of-
I'll give you this then. This is the least artistic John Woo film we did this month, but this moment in this John Woo film is the most artistic moment of this film.
Okay, I thought it was going to be the church sequence at the end, but
No, that's just him slow motion doves and that's not
a guy walking up a beach in slow motion. And
Yeah, this is more artistic than that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
glad that we
but I will
come
say
to
that
some
this is
an
sort of
agreement.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk down to anybody or be like you're wrong about what you find artistic, because if you find it artistic, then that's totally fair. But I will say that it is sort of like easily digested art where you can look at that and be like, I know exactly what he's doing with this without a lot of like, you're not gonna have to think about it for a few days to understand exactly what the point of that is, right? Like
Okay.
you understand it immediately.
Yeah.
So like it's pop
and
art.
the hand is securely in the fist.
Yeah,
for
it's almost like when he's
shooting
looking, when
yourself
John
in the
Travolta looks,
mirror.
he shoots it, and it's like it turns into like the mirror turns into bacon. You're like,
Yeah.
look at all that bacon
Delicious.
bits everywhere. Yeah.
It was just like,
Listen.
like these two love to point guns at each other and not shoot them, and then when they do,
Mhm.
they can't even see each other. It's just like, okay, whatever. But
Yeah, and then the bullets go through the mirror, and they both do the same John Woo backwards dive on the ground and don't hit each other.
yes,
They're like, okay, cool.
Can you guys describe to me what happens here with the skylight? Because I like it was weird. They go upstairs and crash through it, and then the brother dies. But I wasn't sure what like the moving.
Okay,
parts
Castor goes upstairs. He gets into the helicopter. He gets onto a rope, and then he kicks the brother into the skylight, and then the brother falls through.
because the brother's trying to like chase him down or something, and
Yeah.
or capture him.
And brother Troy gets kicked, and he falls into the skylight and through the ground, lands and dies.
Okay.
And then that guy from American Psycho comes up and he's like, "Why are you even mad about it, man? He's just a fucking pervert guy who died." And then he shoots him, which is like, this is another moment where I'm like, why would you say that? If you see somebody upset over a corpse, don't be like, why are you upset about that? Like, you should be like, hey man, I know we just killed like 45 people in here and it's probably pretty heavy on you right now, and like this guy was a huge part of your life for like the last 7 years in your FBI career. So like I feel like I could within seconds understand why, even if he wasn't Castor in a fake face, I could understand why somebody might have a breakdown at that point. My response would not be like, "What's wrong, bro? Why are you even mad about this?"
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I guess it's the whole idea, like cops hate criminals and criminals hate cops. Like
very black and white, and cops and robbers, as you called it earlier. Yeah, like
Right.
why are you crying over the corpse of a robber? We're cops.
yeah.
And then he gets shot in the head, and it's a good head squib. Love a good head squib.
And I guess it's plausible. Like, I didn't shoot him in the head; somebody else did.
Yeah.
Like it's so much.
I immediately thought
carnage
the
around
same thing too. It's like when you play a video game and like somebody gives you lip, and you're like, "Shut up!" You're like, "No one knows. It's a video game."
it. Right.
But that's kind of how he was acting. And then he ties his shoe again, which you're like, okay, so he does care about, or he did care about something. And I think maybe this is supposed to be representative of like, this is the last thing that he actually cared about, and the last thing that he'll do that is in the realm of human. And after this, he becomes full Batman villain. Castor Troy, the newest Batman villain of Gotham.
So the next day or whatever, the chief of the FBI gives Sean as Castor what for again? Reveals to him that Castor Troy is still alive, and then knocks him out, and basically says he has a heart attack.
He doesn't knock him out; he kills his ass. He fucking murders
While I
him.
was watching, the reason I wrote it that way is because I thought that he was just going to knock him out, and then I was going like, "Isn't he just going to wake up in prison or in the hospital next day and be like, that guy hit me?" But
This is also another one of those moments where you're like, I don't know if this would work, but at the same time, you're like, I'm not going to question it because the movie's already so full of things that like I can't question. But this is one of the ones that really, like, when you're looking at the House of Cards and you're like, do I put it over here, or will this cause the whole thing to collapse? Because like I didn't even remember about this character, right? We could have just not had this character at all, and I wouldn't have thought about it, and the movie would have been fine.
Yeah.
But they decide to have him come back just to be like, "What the hell did you do last night?" And the response is that he karate chops him in the back of the neck, tells him that he is Castor Troy, and then elbows him really hard into his chest cavity because he already looks like he's like,
He's having maybe a mild heart attack as it already was. I guess
stress,
Castor Troy is able to identify this. And,
Castor Troy, it's the future. It's 1997 or whatever. Like he knows he has his brother has like perfect bomb making abilities, and Castor Troy has the ability to tell when somebody's going to die of a natural cause around him, and he can accelerate that power really quickly by punching you in your heart. But he elbows him right in the chest. And then the way, like the mental gymnastics that I had to do after this scene were crazy. Like the entirety of like leading up to and perpetuating the scene where they go to the funeral and everything. My whole brain was like, they'd come in there and be like, he didn't die of a heart attack. Somebody punched him in his chest and killed. There's a huge bruise here. Like there are so many things.
Old throat punch and now he's dead.
Yeah.
I guess the main point about taking him out too is that like, okay, now Castor as Sean is now the acting deputy director of the FBI. He's untouchable. He's even more power than I ever had, you know, as me, I guess. And now
for me, the gymnastics that I did was like, this seems like it could have been a removed scene where like the paramedics come in and he's like, he hit his head on the desk when he fell. And then I tried to do chest compressions because you know when you like do chest compressions, you break ribs or whatever, right? Like that's how you do it.
If you do them right,
yeah. And if you do them right.
Well, I was just watching that was the Dr. Mike, the YouTuber, watching the pit, and he was like, "Those are crappy chest compressions.
Yeah,
you got to. They're not doing them right. You know, they don't want
to break ribs.
You got to break those actors' ribs. Do it.
No, it's true. If you go to like CPR class, I used to have to take CPR classes every year, and they're like, you will break ribs, and you're going to, and you know you have to in order to actually do the proper chest compressions because you're not going to be like massaging the heart in the way that you need to. And so I was always like terrified because I was like CPR certified for like a decade of my life. And I was always terrified that something would happen and I would have to do it. Cause like you're also, if you have the license and you don't do it, you can get in trouble. You can get in trouble.
You better break those ribs.
Yeah.
So, save a life.
So I was like freaked out. I'd be at the mall or something and someone would have a heart attack and I'd be like, everybody stand back. I've got to break this old man's ribs in front of all these children. Like,
exactly.
Luckily I never had to do it. Anyway, so I thought that like that was probably a sequence that was either written or like that's how they would have explained it. And then I realized that like the movie would have been maybe like 7 minutes longer if they had to have all that, and like maybe it was in there and they just got rid of it because like you don't need it. But at the same time, all I could think about was how do you elbow somebody right in the chest and they die and then no one questioned how he died. Be like,
he just had a heart attack.
He had
He's like this notable, respectable FBI guy that like people aren't going to question it maybe as much, but
but I mean, you open up his his shirt when they get him to the hospital, and it's like he's got a massive bruise right on his right where his heart is. It's like,
yeah. Well, the criminal. It was like the funeral's like the next day. Right, too. This all happens in a week.
Well, I assume it's not the next day, but it's like a couple. But like, yeah, when he's trying to get his daughter to come, right, and she doesn't want to go, and I think the wife says like, she doesn't even want to visit her dead brother's grave on his birthday. Like, you're not going to get her to come care about your dead boss, but he wants all of them there because he knows what's going to go down right at the funeral.
What you guys were saying about the like bruise, that's all I could think about is the fact that like he does punch him directly in the shoulder and then in the back of the neck, and I'm like, wouldn't the autopsy report show?
That's what I mean is like he probably said like he had a heart attack, fell and hit his neck on my desk, and then I tried to do chest compressions and that's why there's bruising all around his heart. Like you could easily say it, but I just don't like that the movie doesn't do it because like I don't know why.
It was already a 2.5 hour movie.
It's true. It's one of those magnet boot situations where I'm like, don't question the magnet boots. Just let the movie keep going. Steve, stop thinking about this.
Well, let me do that for you. Sean as Castor makes his way home. He tells the wife something only she could know and reveals he believes it's because Castor and as Sean then takes the wife. Okay, so he goes home, he shows up, and he basically reveals that like I have O-type blood. I have AB negative. He
has O negative,
yeah.
and Castor has AB. They don't say if it's positive or negative.
I think it's just
and
AB.
reveals the chef died of a heart, or the chief died of a heart attack.
The chef,
the chef. The wife can now tell, sort of, but she's still freaking out. Eve. She pricks him for some blood because I forgot that she was a doctor up till this point, but she is. She's a nurse.
How did you forget? She talks about it the whole movie.
Anyway, she goes to the hospital and tests it. And I guess this proves that he isn't the original Sean. Castor Sean shows up and recounts his
Talk about a scene that they could have shortened by like 8 minutes. Like they could have showed her spiking the blood, and then it could have immediately cut. What?
Oh, I thought you were going to finish talking, then I would talk.
Oh, she could have spiked him for the blood, and it could have immediately like panned, and it could have been the back of her head moving, like, and then just the computer being like, bleep, 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 and then show him the thing. You don't need to show her putting it on the fucking little, like the clear plaque and putting it, like, it's just like all this stuff that I'm like, because we already know as the audience, we know that that's him. We don't need to have all this tension.
Most ridiculous part of this whole first date story is not the fact that it's proven that she's maybe not vegetarian, but why was there an all-night dentist that was wasted?
Didn't know that was a thing.
He was so drunk that he fixed the wrong tooth.
It really felt like somebody doing like Mad Libs. Like, what can we fit into all these parts to make the story a little bit more interesting?
I took her to a blank restaurant at the blank, and then we had to find an all-night blank.
And the blank was blank.
The part that
incredible
always messes me up is like, they have different blood types, but like that means that I know it's all crazy, this idea of taking a face off and putting it onto somebody else's body, but like that's like trying to get like an organ donor who's not your blood type, right? Like it's like your body would reject it.
Well, because he has the O positive, his blood is universal, which means he can accept and donate all blood to
universal. It's O negative, which is only like 0.5% of the population. But he would be the Archer's face could go onto Castor easier than Castor's face can go into Archer. Because he's like it doesn't work the other because an AB can't give to an O, so it's just kind of.
Imagine that'd be cool if like his face started like rotting after a time because like the blood type was wrong. So his face just like
my face is melting. Yeah,
I would love a face off where his face is melting off of his face, like a Christy Gnome situation.
Yeah,
where his face is melting and it's because
he just ends up like Darkman at the end, or he's like,
but like she believes him after all that because. It's like, oh, well, I guess
it would be hard to trust the face of the man who murdered your child.
True.
Why would he be doing all this? Oh, I'm actually swapped with your husband.
Yeah, just like it's not the guy that tried to feed you lobster the other night. It's not me. I'm me.
When it's finally revealed, though, she does say like we've been together as man and wife for a week, and he's just like crying and like
Even with this crazy plastic surgery, would you not know that's not my husband's dick? Like I think it would be. They would.
Yeah. Did they have a dick off?
It'd be crazy if one was circumcised and one wasn't. Like it's so obvious.
I just grew a foreskin. It's here. So sorry.
Why do you have a foreskin?
Listen, honey, there's new advancements down at the old face lab. I got my dick skin.
I made lobster for dinner. I think I've earned it. Yeah. So come on.
They told me they could grow ears, and I said, "Can you grow foreskin back?" And they said, "You betcha." And here we are.
Like, well, we're Catholics now, I guess. Yeah. Castor Sean shows up. I wrote, Jesus Christ, the guy Eve is working on is Two-Face. That's that scene I keep talking about where Eve is like working on a man and pulls the fucking think it's going to be revealed, but he like his
no one thought it was going to be revealed. We all knew it was going to happen.
I wrote, this movie needs Batman. But I would venture to guess that I'd venture to posit that Sean Archer is Bruce Wayne before he becomes Batman, and he's dealing with Joker for the first time. That's my new theory.
Maybe Adam will grow up to be Batman because his parents are dead.
Well, since we're all talking about these theories,
I hate that picture. It's so funny, but I hate it. It's like me looking like two like gremlins, and then Jason being like, "Gather around, son. Let me tell you about my theory."
But they all get ready to go to the chief's funeral. Sean as Caster tells Sasha that Sean Archer will be off his back forever, which I thought was a kind of a sweet moment. Eve tells Caster
He says
Sean,
no matter what, because either he's going to die or the other guy's going to die, which means that he'll never be coming back for her, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet. Yeah. Eve tells Caster Sean to fuck off. Why would he care about his boss's funeral if he doesn't care about his son's birthday, which I thought was an important moment. Remember when she's getting into the car to go to the funeral, and he's like, "We gotta go to the funeral."
We talked about this already.
Okay. We see Sean as Caster walk up the beach, and no doves, but seagulls instead. Never mind, there are doves. Sean as Caster enters the church, and I wrote
Imagine the church was just full of seagulls. That would be funny.
I always wondered where he got the suit too, like with the stylish cufflinks and everything else, because he's kind of, he doesn't have any money or credit cards or anything.
He's probably got a bunch of money stashed away in different little hot pockets.
Maybe he's got like a safe house somewhere.
Yeah,
I think they both do.
He probably also has suits made just in case he gets a little paunch going on. He's like, just in case, I might get fat, so I'll have a couple of suits in reserve just in case I come out.
Probably, because this movie does like the message of this movie for me, a lot of it is like criminals and cops are very much the same.
Yeah, especially in a John Woo movie.
Yeah,
they're all pathetic and weird and power hungry and
violent
Yeah. I mean, it's how I feel about like I like movies like this where there's no sort of glorification of any of it, where it all is depicted as kind of nasty, right? Like, in no way do I watch this movie and be like, man, I'd love to be X character. Like, why would you in any way want to be any of these people? I'd rather be much happier just having a regular life.
No, I don't even want to be a plastic surgeon after this.
Yeah,
murdered by a gangster after I take a
burned alive after doing a face transplant.
Yeah,
and this guy made me grow foreskin on his dick. What the hell?
There's an interesting moment where Caster as Sean is like standing there in the procession, and one of the kids, one of the altar boys, kind of walks up and hands him the picture of Archer's son, and he crumples it up and throws it down, and a dove literally flies by at that moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The music starts to go like, and he's like lighting the candles. Yeah,
the score swells at this point. Okay, this is a good. Release the foreskin cut.
Yeah, Jerk Off is the name of the movie.
Jerk Off.
So Sean as Caster and Caster as Sean have the beginning of their final showdown. They bring in Eve as a hostage. Daughter's in a car on the way too. I thought she was going to butterfly knife the guy that was driving her there, but that's not what happens. Sasha shows up and it becomes a full Mexican standoff. I think it's the craziest standoff I've ever seen, where like 6 people have guns pointed at different people during this whole sequence.
It is cartoonish, but it's also fun. Yeah. I like that people keep showing up. Even like I kind of wanted it to keep going because like eventually gets to a point where we recognize everybody that's in the standoff, and then other people start showing up that we're like, who the fuck is this guy? And like I would have liked more people to keep doing it. Like it became almost like a Naked Gun situation, right?
The goon that shows up that was driving the daughter that we saw in like a very quick previous scene just shows up with a gun drawn, but everybody already has guns pointed at each other.
The priest should have like pulled out too and be like, I was told this was a funeral, but I didn't know it was for someone who was still alive. Like, oh fuck, the priest is packing.
Mm-hmm. That would have been, it's kind of a crazy scene for sure. And then Sasha showing up is like maybe the best part, because she's against Sean Archer because of her brother, but it's real. He's like, I'm actually Caster, and like she doesn't believe him, and then when she dies,
I wrote guns, doves, flowers. John Woo.
Yeah, and
Yep,
the
you're
fact
right.
everyone starts shooting, and somehow it's only like Cage and Travolta that survived this crazy
Yeah.
shootout because they're main characters.
Well, Sasha's
Because
the
they're main
first person to
characters.
shoot. Sasha's like, I'm doing this, and Castor and Sean do survive it. Daughter shows up. She's in a crazy crossfire between Sean and Castor shooting at each other. Like, how the fuck did she survive that?
Yeah, because I was like, someone shoots Tommy Flanagan. It's not clear who does it, but like he gets nailed here, like anybody with a name basically survives this fight except for Sasha.
And they do a very 80s action television show moment.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I'm not the robot. That's the
Exactly.
robot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And she ends up shooting her own father, who is Castor.
But she shoots him in the arm, and like, I guess the moment here is where you're like, did she miss, or did she shoot in the arm just to be sure because she wasn't? Because like, it's either shoot the person who looks like your dad that you've known your entire life, or shoot the guy who is, like, I know I don't look like your dad, but I am your dad. Please don't shoot me. But he's also the person that killed your little brother and has been haunting your dad forever. It's like, she doesn't shoot either of them. She shoots one to maim, and then learns her lesson real quick when the guy who looks like her dad, who's been acting real weird for the last couple of weeks, grabs her and starts licking her face immediately. Yeah. You're like, oh God, fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, she ends up butterfly knifing.
Yeah, she uses his own weapon against him, the weapon that he armed her with, which is, I like that too, but at the same time, this moment doesn't add anything at all to this movie. It could have went from the church fight to the boat to the whatever, to the two of them fighting. Like, having her show up doesn't really add anything. And I don't think
she needs to be here for any of this, really, honestly.
I don't either, unless it was a little bit.
Agree on
what? Release the foreskin cut. Yeah, well, we already agreed on that. But I think that the reason it's there is to pay off for the growth that we saw in her earlier when he was giving the knife and everything. Like, it's just a payoff to the knife, really. Right. But she is a character that exists in this movie, and I guess we need to have her here for this moment. But like, it doesn't really do anything. I don't fully understand why. Like, it does, and then at the end, like, even at the end, it's just to show that she's not a goth anymore. And you're like,
I don't know.
You want to have her character grow, but like, her character doesn't grow. Like, the goth moment should be a growth moment, not a.
She took all the masks off, and
I agree with that. But my thing about it is, like, I thought this was a cool way to break up them 1v1 shooting each other.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, the wife's already there. Like, that could be the
okay. Thing. Yeah, I agree with that too.
The wife has a lot more going on in terms of character, but
it's just I will say that she was important to the story the whole time.
No, you're right. You're right. I'll say that, like, a lot of the moments between Castor as Archer when he's in the home, the most effective moments for me were when he was dealing with the daughter, because it's like she's seeing her dad in a different way, and he's like cool now to her. So she's like, holy fuck, my dad's fucking cool. But that's not really paid off either, right? Like, you get a couple of moments of it.
I agree.
But they're trying to do both. They're trying to do that with the wife, where she's like, my husband is attentive to me again and he wants to fuck. But also, she's writing in her diary, she's like, I don't know if I'm ready for anal. Like, you're like, what the heck? So like, I kind of like the stuff with the daughter more because it's like a little bit less like egregious and vulgar or whatever, where it's like, I'm fucking this guy's wife just to like get back at him, basically. But when he's with the daughter, he almost is like he's training her in a way to like be better and to like understand the world, where it's like, oh, this villain is also like trying to prepare her for a horrible existence and understands how it works. Right. So, maybe cut down on one or the other, or just remove one or the other. I don't know. But I feel like the two of them didn't really kind of work fully for me, but I did like the stuff with the daughter a little bit more.
I see what you're saying.
As gross as it was, yeah.
With a 2 hour and 20-minute runtime, there were segments that could have been cut out, and I do agree with you. Like that could have easily been deleted for the sake of like a shorter runtime. But when I was in it, when I was experiencing it, and when I was watching through it, I think that it was a fun little moment to break up, like I was saying before, not just having a straight up them 1v1 gunfight each other. It was interesting to have her like ducking like between them, but also this movie is so ridiculous that it's very goofy to have that scene in the movie. So I think it's more like me just liking what I like and enjoying the fact that this girl is like ducking out of the way of gunfire. I think
and I do like the
I think
voice
it's
changing.
selfish of me. I think it's my ultimate point.
But I also like the voice changing. Like he gets punched in the throat and he's like it's like he sounds like C3PO for a minute and you're like, oh god, what's going on here?
Yeah, right.
And then like he's like, I'm your dad, and it like sounds like John Travolta's voice. I'm like, okay, this is kind of good, but at the same time it's like it is bad, but you know, who cares? It's good. And then it leads into like a crazy boat chase.
It's
I love
it's
a boat
crazy
chase. I love a good boat chase, you know.
They take up
this-
the coast. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just saying this boat chase, I hate it. Like it's just so
Really?
boring. Every time I'm just so bored by it. You know, I'm like two guys.
Do you like boat chases in anything?
I don't know, like
Because I
it's
was
not-
stoked. I was so fucking stoked about this boat chase, but I want to hear your. I want to hear your. point of
Well,
view.
like I'm watching it today, and I'm like, man, you can really tell those are the stuntmen in a lot of the scenes. You can tell it's not
Right.
Cage and Travolta. And I'm watching like a really old, grainy DVD from like 1999. Okay, like at like 6:40.
I'm not even watching Prime where you pause it and it brings up the name of the stuntman.
No,
who's
none
in
of
the
that,
boat.
right? I was like, man, I can really tell those are stuntmen, you know. And I don't know, and I just want like it's. You know, maybe if you're into that, I guess at this point I'm just like ready for the movie to wrap up because we're at like the 2 hour, we're plus 2 hours at this point.
Yeah, you're like, how much more of this face off can I take? They've been facing off against each other for so long.
Yeah. So, but it's fine. You know, you get through it, and then like once they finally get to that pier at the end, then I'm like, okay, now we're back to the movie. It feels like, you know. But
You know what? I'll agree with you there. I am far more invested in like hand-to-hand combat stuff than I am in two boats just going through the water while they're shooting guns.
But the thing
there-
is about the boat race is like they're
It's a chase
smashing into each other's boats.
They're not racing.
They're crashing into each other, and then there's that moment where the boat, like one of the boats goes off and explodes, and he jumps over to the other boat, and then there's that weird moment where he uses the like fucking Castor as Sean smashes him with the anchor, which was an insane thing to do, to use an anchor as a weapon, but then the anchor gets caught and it spins around, and then it ejects both of them onto the beach, which
cool.
I thought was all cool. Like I thought it was
It is cool,
interesting
yeah.
action.
it's
movie
cool.
swap.
Yeah, it's just like they would definitely be dead if they.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many moments in this movie where they'd be definitely dead is a thing that we always can say.
Again, suspend disbelief.
Every action movie will do that to you if you look
Yeah.
too deep.
They are normal men. They're not Batmen. They're not wearing bat vests or whatever. Like, Alfred, I need if a chain was to come out, but an anchor was to go taut very suddenly and throw me, would it kill me? Well, Master Wayne, I think I can come up with something for you here.
I wrote this. I wrote this final fist fight on the beach as the harpoon finale because it's very much like it's the same thing as Mission Impossible 2, and pretty much every John Woo movie, if you will, where somebody sees a weapon down on the ground, and it's like not even just John Woo exclusively. It's every action movie that comes down to a fist fight. A weapon is on the ground, and everybody keeps eyeing it. The camera keeps eyeing it, and he grabs it, and he gets him up against the wall, and he's got it, but he shoots it, and he grabs it, and he starts cutting his own face off, like you'll never. And what I wondered about that is like, his face is going to be all fucked up because he's not cutting it like in the exact spot that the literal laser cut his face off. Why doesn't John Travolta have a fucked up, cut up face at the very end of the movie?
Well, this is a world where they can remove scars and put them back. I guess they could fix all
that's
that.
true.
Right? So
Yeah.
That's a good point, Dave.
Also, I wrote down National Harpoons Face Off Vacation. That was what I wrote.
like what confused me about it is like he
That's
shoots
extremely good.
the harpoon and then it kind of comes up, but he holds it there with the rope or something.
Yeah.
But then
It's like the rubber elastics, but it's also like clearly a gas powered thing, right? Like the gas, it's like it shoots gas to launch it.
yeah, it doesn't seem like you should be able to block it and then let go, and then it still fires after you let go.
You're right. It should be leaking air the whole time, like or something. I think the killing blow in this movie is very confusing and weird, and I don't.
Assuming I'm still like not even sure if he kills him. Like, it maybe.
Yeah. Also, I thought
maybe they were setting up a sequel
when he was doing the face cutting thing. I did think that as well, Jason, where I'm like, is he going to come back and have like scars or something around in a weird way? But like, we already know they can seamlessly sew a face onto another face without any scar tissue at all. And, you know, within a couple of days be healed thanks to their fabled miracle Advil or whatever. But what I thought he was going to do, I remember the first time I watched this movie, I'm like, oh, because he knows he's going to die, or he knows that like this is the last time this is going to happen. He's going to start like cutting his face in a way that'll be like, I'll never let you have your face back. Like, this is my face and I can do what I want to it. And like,
that's what I thought was going to happen when he started cutting his face.
And he didn't do that, but I think that would be cooler, but it also probably would have been like a little bit scarier and grosser and would have pumped up the rating of this movie to like from a PG-13 to a this is a hard R, guys. We cannot have
NC-17
cutting his own face off, being like, you'll never get your face back, asshole, and you'll never get your foreskin back either. Yeah.
Takes his foreskin off. Jesus
Throws
Christ.
his foreskin away.
Yeah. Into the ocean. Yeah, you see a bunch of fish like eating the foreskin.
I've been wearing this foreskin for a week and it sucks.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, they live happily ever after, and they also adopt Adam is the name of the kid, and the kid says, "I'm
his
Adam."
name's Bam Bam, guys. We know
his name's Bam Bam.
He is Bam Bam.
Yeah,
I forget.
It's weird, like how quickly my brain realized. I was like, this kid is from something, and then within seconds, I was like, bam, bam. Like I didn't.
Oh, is it Bam Bam from the Flintstones movie?
That's why I keep saying it.
I thought he just looked like Bam Bam to you. Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't put that together. My bad.
My brain immediately was like, this kid looks like somebody, and then I heard like, you know, it's like a bad ADR from the Flintstones where he's like, like it just like echoed in my head. I'm like, that's Bam Bam. That's him.
Maybe the sequel could be like the grown-up Adam, you know, the son. He's kind of the son of Castor and of Archer, you know, and
but we also make it like a full Blade Runner-esque future, like an alternate future where like face-off technology changed the world in a huge way.
Right. Like maybe it's more. It would be more common by then, right? Because some other people would have done it, presumably in the 30s.
Like the difference between Mission Impossible 1 and Mission Impossible 2. The technology just expands and grows and gets better.
Right.
Also, one more thing on this ending. Like he's like, "Hey, can we adopt this kid, honey? Like, you know, I just brought him here and kind of dropped him in front of the front." Like, what if they were like, "No,
no"? That's what I was thinking. I was like, "You can't just take a kid."
Yeah.
Also, I don't think that like any government agency or like a child care agency would ever be okay with you adopting the son of the man who murdered your son.
Seems kind of twisted, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems fucked up. They would be concerned that either you're going to do something to this kid or this kid might be psychotic in some way, because like they had a Uber terrorist who's like, I have plans to destroy all of America with gas. And one day I'm going to blow up the moon. Like that man's child is probably going to be studied.
But that's not even close to the most ridiculous thing in this movie.
No, it's not the most ridiculous thing. Oh, no, not even close.
No, that's why we don't. Well, I mean, that's the beauty of this movie is you don't question anything until like all the way up to the end. And when they throw something even crazier at you, you're just like, whatever. Whatever.
Sure, he took the kid because he had to promise Sasha he would take care of the kid, right? Like before she died.
He adopts Bam Bam from the Flintstones movie that came out a year before, and it's great.
All right. Show Bam Bam your his room or whatever. Bam Bam. He's like, bam, bam. I did expect all three of them to do like a triple where he's like, why are you
don't
doing
touch
this?
my face.
Are you more of a Bam Bam or a Hong Kong kind of guy? So,
We're a Bam Bam family, but you know we can appreciate the Hong Kong.
But at the end of the day, released the foreskin cut.
Absolutely.
So we did it. We got through the movie Face Off. Should we talk about our Home Alone of it all, our final thoughts, and our ratings?
Sure.
I think so, except I can't get the media to scroll for some reason. Why is that happening?
Do you want me to do it? I can do it.
Yeah, I can't.
I've been in this situation before.
If you had to pick one,
what do you think the Home
when
Alone of it
is
all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone?
I really gotta know.
When is the Home Alone of
What
it all?
is the Home Alone of it all? Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
Oh no! No! 3D!
So, Dave,
Nice clip.
I love that. Dave, you've been here before. The Home Alone of it all is, of course, the idea that in the movie Home Alone, Kevin McAllister slaps down the blueprint, and that's when the movie really ramps up because he's about to torture these poor burglars, who like to flood the fucking flood burglars, the sticky bandits.
Wet bandits.
The wet bandits.
The flood burglars.
The sticky bandits was the first movie. The flood thing.
The thing is, I've heard you do this a million times, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
The Wet
about?
Bandits are the first movie. The Sticky Bandits is second.
That's right. Anyway, the idea is that like everybody has their favorite part of the movie, and it is kind of like when you go see Home Alone, you want to see the nightmare host that Kevin McAllister creates. Anyway, in addition to that, what we require from you, Dave Mader, is could we also have your final thoughts on the film and a review, a rating?
Yeah, sure. So I think the Home Alone of it all for me is that scene in the prison where, the reveal of John Travolta now as Castor, like, Archer as Castor, or Castor as Archer, I guess. And, that whole, like, you good looking and all that, right? Like, I think that's where the movie comes together. And like, these two are now reversed, right? Like, and now they're adversaries, and they got these completely flipped around positions, right? So for me, it's that. My final thoughts on this is like, I don't know, like you said, people love it or hate it. I'm definitely in the love it camp. Sure, it's like, it's absurd and crazy and weird, but it's also like kind of like really fun, I don't know, cop versus robber movie. It's very, it's got a lot of like stylistic stuff in terms of just gangster stuff and all of that. And it's aged a bit, it's a bit dated, but at the same time, I think I'll always love this just because it's also the hammy performances and the cast. I love the cast, like even more today than I did every day. We was like, Thomas Jane's in this. Holy crap!
Yeah,
Chris Bauer's in this movie. John Carroll Lynch. Everybody, right? Like Margaret Cho.
John Carroll Lynch is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, like it keeps going on and on. I'm like,
if
like
they were to make a sequel, like Jane Lynch.
Put Jane
Lynch in it.
And
yeah,
Susan Sarandon.
Like sorry.
No, I was gonna say he could be the villain. Like he pull him out of that prison and make him like he's like a moon lord or some shit. And like that,
he could be like a spin-off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Tommy Flanagan, who I love from Braveheart and Sons of Anarchy and many other things, he's basically an extra in this movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy, like the bench strength of this cast. So my rating would be out of 10. Is that how you do it?
Whatever you want, man.
Is it like it's not like A, B, C or anything? Right?
I don't ever use anything that makes sense. I just give it what I feel in my heart as a rating usually.
Like it's an 8 out of 10 for me. It's a fun popcorn kind of nothing movie, but on the same time, it's a movie I always like coming back to. Like it's not boring, and I think it's just the performances and just those moments that I always love.
I can't do it, Jason. I got no ability.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Those are all wrong buttons. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. You're of course welcome back here anytime you'd like to come here. You're
awesome.
You're a person I want to talk movies with, like even not on a podcast. You fucking
you seem pretty passionate about this one, and I, a lot of the times we have you on, and you're like, I've never seen this movie before, but here are my thoughts. Or is this one you're like, I've seen?
When I was on for the James Bond. I think when the Jumanji, I had maybe a little bit the same kind of passion. But yeah, I always have a blast talking to you guys about whatever.
Absolutely.
So
it's great.
Mutually.
How about you, Steven? What do you got? What do you got?
Well, I mean, Face Off is one of those movies that if you give it enough time, you will forget every single aspect of it in terms of detail. Where like the things that are huge about it, like the fact that 25 to 30 minutes of this movie is spent in a jail where everybody has magnet boots on, will just leave your head. You're like, wait, what? I forgot about the magnet boot prison. And that's kind of nice, which means it's like, it's not an amazing movie because a lot of those details will leave your mind, which leaves the opening for rewatch, 10 years after the fact, making it just as fun to watch it again. You're like, oh man, I forgot about the fact that they, have like a whole team of cool gangster people that all have weird, unique ways of dressing, and like a Scarface lair that gets completely obliterated by the FBI's bomb squad led by a terrorist with the fake face of a man. And you're like, I forgot about this whole thing. And I've seen it a few times over the course of my life, and almost every single time I've watched it, I think that's the case, where like I forget a ton of the details. The things that stick out to me are the mirror fight, the fact that they switch faces obviously is a big one, but also like them intermingling in each other's lives. But I forget the main detail, and I guarantee you, like 2 weeks from now, I'll probably forget about the magnet boots again. But like, it's cool. It's a weird movie that on paper you'd be like, how the fuck did this actually get made for the budget that it had, and with the cast that it has, and the people that made it behind it. And thank goodness that it was, because I look at this movie sometimes and I think, if anyone goes back and in terms of like film, because film is kind of waning and suffering a little bit now, and they look to things like this to be like, well, what was really randomly successful, and how can we emulate that without completely just remaking Face Off? Find a way to like harness this weird creative energy, because it is creative and strange, and I like it. When it comes to my Home Alone of it all, I agree with Dave. I think that is maybe the moment where the movie really turns into what the movie is, right? Like that's where it goes through the metamorphosis of being like, this is a movie about infiltration, to like, no, this is a movie about stolen identity and being forced to deal with that with a new identity, which is really cool and interesting and pretty scary. But I will say, for me, it is the moment that they show the lab, because it made me feel so fucking uncomfortable when they're explaining to him what will happen to him, where I was like, oh, this movie is going to be uncomfortable. And I kind of understand that from this level. And I see what he's going through, being like, no, what? No, I would never do this. This is crazy. I won't do that. And it feels invasive and kind of disgusting. And that's how I feel a lot of the time throughout this movie, even down to the face touch. Like I feel violated when that happens every single time. And a lot of that is happening in this movie, but in a way that like makes you want to keep engaging with it. If I had to give this movie a rating, I think I would give this movie a malfunctioning magnet boot, but at the same time, like, the fact that magnet boots exist is pretty cool. Like that's my rating.
This whole prison's a magnetic field.
I think my Home Alone of it all this week is in line with your guys's. It's basically when the face off happens and they start facing off with one another. Final thoughts wise, it's I think you guys kind of covered it too. Like, it's a great movie that is a dumb popcorn munch movie. I remember it from my childhood, and I'll always relate. Like, even tonight, right before we were about to go live, I messaged my dad and said, we're talking about your favorite movie, Face Off. And he was like, yes, thumbs up. And that's literally how I felt about this movie, like my whole life. I was like, it's my dad's jam. And you know what? I'm older now than when my dad had watched it, but it's kind of my jam. Like when John Woo does things well, he does them over the top and almost to the point of stupid. But action movies aren't supposed to be smart movies. There's not a lot of action movies that are smart. And the fact that there's a scene where they literally almost look at the camera and say "face off," and I laughed out loud.
Wait,
watching
that again?
that. Face off. Yeah. I was over the moon that it was that ham-fisted, because I love that's when they said the movie needle drop moment that we do on this show. So all that said, I think this movie's great. I think for me, ratings wise, it's a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. And then if I was to actually give this movie a rating, I got a couple ratings. I give this two speedboats racing towards one of the speedboats exploding. I also give this the distance between a man who's a good FBI officer and a man who's had his face swapped twice. The distance between that.
Okay. I thought we were going to be like...
The insanity.
Yeah, we were both like, what the fuck? Like, just say like it's the man looking at himself in a mirror and wants to shoot himself or something.
I also give this movie the Michael Jackson song, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Yeah. But I guess with that, we just have to go into our plugs.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and...
Dave.
Yes.
What do you got going on, brother?
Well, if you're into Star Trek, we got Live Long and Podcast. We are always doing episode reviews. Right now, we're looking at old shows. So right now it's Star Trek The Next Generation episodes. So we're on every Monday at the moment, but that's partly because Starfleet Academy is on Thursdays right now. That new season's coming out. Chris Murphy and Jameel, they were on tonight with Jody, so I could be here. So check out that and all the Starfleet Academy episodes that we're going to be covering this season. And then we'll be back to doing we're also For All Mankind is this other show we cover on that channel, the Apple show, and that's coming back for the 5th season in March, so we're looking at that. And also on Super Maida Brothers podcast, we cover Survivor. Jason's off in there, and season 50 is starting end of February.
50?
Season 50, baby. Here we are.
Fuck.
It's all returning players from different eras, and it's going to be interesting for sure. So check that out on Wednesdays, starting February 27th, I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was
that's
at 50. That's wild.
Yeah. 2 a year for 25 years, brother.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should watch one of these new seasons and come on, because I do like Survivor.
You should watch.
I watched this channel.
Season 50 is going to be fun because it's got all these gamers and whatever.
Yeah, so. I watched this channel called Peridium or something like that, and they talk about but they also bring in like the old ones, because I used to watch it when I was a kid all the time, and I stopped like midway through high school. But like Survivor is fun, man. I like that shit.
Yeah,
I like it. Survivor. Anyway. Maybe
what do you got cooking on the back?
Come on. You're welcome every time, even if you don't know anything about it. It's all good.
What I have going on is what I always have going on, which is I am the voice of Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist, and you guys should check those channels out. They're fun, and actually, until recently, they've been fun for the whole family. But a couple of the Game of Thrones episodes are getting real spicy, where I'm like reading porn. Like, what's going on here? But we're also releasing a third channel very soon. I've started recording episodes for that, which is going to be cool and fun as well. Stanland, which is a thing on the Sonar Network, as well as anywhere that you find your podcasts. I am a couple of voices in that, but we're doing another show with them called Randy soon. And I've been going through this old podcast and cleaning it up for a more modern audience, and it's fun, it's cool, and it's going to be a lot of chuckles and fuckles. But what I would like you to do, Jason, is to show them what we're doing next month. But maybe you talk about what we're gonna do first.
So okay, I'll do my plugs and then I'll play that at the end of the plugs. You can find this show each and every week right here in the United Facial Podcasts at 8 p.m. Eastern, and on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch are our primary points of interest. The next day, we typically put up the audio version and the on-demand version. I am, of course, the voice of Superkick Wrestling here in Toronto. I'm the announcer. We have a show coming up on February 20th. And just really quickly going through, we have merch. You can get it on TeePublic and Redbubble. We have, of course, our Hey Did You See This One logo. We have Corporal Tunnel Syndrome from our James Bond month. We have the Howie Mandela Effect, which is a great shirt that you should put on your body. We have the Grimoire of Familiar Killers, which is a great shirt you should put on your body. We have the Eldritch Millennial, which is a great shirt you should put on your body. We also have Kill Aid, which is a great shirt you should put on your body. We have Twinkerbell, which is a shirt, and it's great.
You should put it in your body.
Put it in your body, and most people have, because look at that package. We have one new piece of media that we're going to be adding to t-shirts this coming week, and it is a fan favorite. I think Chef's Fingers is coming to shirts wherever you wear them. But next month, coming up, and this is for all the people that play the poster guessing game at home, we're doing something kind of off the beaten path for us. Typically, our show is about movies maybe you have not seen, maybe movies that you remember from your childhood. And this is a movie that you might remember from your childhood, but this is more on the pop culture side of things. We're going to do a Star Wars month. That's right, a Star Wars month. And it's going to be a cross promotion with the Darth Theorist, and I'm very excited to find out what that entails. But Steven, in addition to one of the viewers, has put together a video, and this is going to be our video for next month. So sit back. It's very cinematic and it's very bombastic. Let's take a look.
Hello there. Us, Iceland Spaceport. We are still flying half a ship. Your move. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. I sense a trap. Next move? Spring the trap. Your move. Spring the trap. Your move. I will deal with this Jedi slime myself. Your move. Kenobi. Your move. I have a bad feeling about this. Spring the trap. Your move. I have a job to do, Anakin. Try not to upset him. Kenobi. Try not to upset him. Your move. Go about your business. Move along. Go on. Spring the trap. What about Padme? She seems to be on top of things. Your move. Do you have a plan B? Kenobi. Plan B. Kenobi. Plan B. Plan B. Another happy landing.
Aha. Thanks. I'm Boba Blackfly. I edited that video and I did all that fucking weird music talk. It was good. It was
awesome, man. Well done. I love that.
I never did it before. I feel like a real DJ.
For sure.
It's going to be a fantastic month, and we can't wait for everybody to come and watch that. If you've never seen the original or the prequel trilogy, well, this is going to be your nonstop shop for that. It's going to be a good month. And doing Star Wars is special to myself and my co-host, Steven.
I feel like every episode is going to be 6 hours long. We're going to be like, and then the next episode is going to be exactly the same as the episode before. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know a lot about Star Wars, and obviously my favorite character is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Robert Kenobi, right? Yeah, I was like, Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah, he's the
best. But that's our show. That's our show for this evening. I'm glad that everybody who turned out, and everybody who did not turn out, well, thank you in the future for watching, because I know you're watching it now in the future. There is one question that needs to be asked each and every week, and our guest always has to ask that question. So I'll turn the tables. I'll turn the floor to you right now, Dave.
Hey, did you see this one?
I made a mistake, guys. I accidentally deleted the thank you for watching picture, but I'll put it back. But, you know,
why would you do that? Wait. Can I find it? Is it in the deleted? It's not in the graveyard, Jason.
Well,
Jason, what have you done?
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.
Yo, what the fuck? They got Sleep 2? What the fuck they coming out with next? Sleep